wearing what I can only assume is meant to be some camouflage when you're already up a tree and have the rod in the water. Probably not non-stop though, is it? I'm guessing he's not up there in a bloody diaper. I hope.
あんたのお父さんはまだ幼かったあんたを捨ててハンターの道を選んだ。知ってる。あんたじゃなくハンターを選んだのよ。
I would counter-argue that the main difference here is that this particular 12-year-old doesn't have a son. Oh, that's cute. Okay, that's enough. Stop it! I don't think they can hear you anymore.
放っておこうよ。昔ミトさんが教えてくれたんだ。
その人を知りたかったら
Referring to a person that no one else knows by their name as though they're supposed to know who the hell that even is.
Go! カツオさん。
Well, that was a bit of an odd delay in his response.
通りな。なんだと？こういうのはばあさんの好みに合わせときゃ正解なのさ。あばよ。
He talks about going first so that he's able to pass ahead and lay traps to delay the three of them, but then helps them out with a hint that the old lady just wants to hear the answer she wants. I know obviously that he ends up being wrong and sent off in the wrong direction, but he doesn't know that's about to happen. Oh, if only there was a place to go for a whiz in the forest! That is villain for tee-hee-hee-hee! No. Or in other words, like the kid just said, it can talk. Okay, I'll admit it. This anime is growing on me very quickly. What gave it away? Was it the whole physically moving downwards thing? No, it means he's brand new and he's just trying to confuse you by saying he's not new, and that makes no sense, so yes, of course it means he's been there before.
声かけた時はすぐ騙せそうなやつだと思ったんだが。ここだけの話、俺、忍者なんだ。
Discount Saitama from One Punch Man. Also, let me just get something straight here, because it does, believe it or not, confuse a lot of people in the comment section. This joke actually purely refers to someone looking like a poor man's version of another character, hence discount, meaning you could hire them for less. But a ton of people always say, for example, not saying it's the case here, One Punch Man came before Hunter x Hunter, and thus the sin doesn't count. It's not even a sin, it's just a joke saying they look similar, but yeah, I've always been confused by those who mistake the meaning of the joke, and hopefully this sorts it out once and for all. Also, it is a CinemaSins joke, and so I'll probably phase it out pretty soon anyway, as it's one of the last ones I still use.
大変お待たせいたしました。ただいまをもって、ハンター受験者の受付時間を終了いたします。
I guess I kinda have to sin this guy for not having a mouth? It's a new one though, I gotta say.
ハンター試験でルーキーが合格する確率は3年に1人。俺みたいな凡人には夢のまた夢ってわけだ。
One would assume he'd be smart and take off his jacket, drop the suitcase and undo his fucking tie like a normal human normally would do in this situation. Fucking spanner.
レオリオ、大丈夫か？
およ、見ての通りだぜ。
And removing the sin for him taking my rather sound advice.
打ち捨てられた同胞の亡骸からは一つ残らず目が奪い去られていた。今でも彼らの暗い瞳が無念だと語りかけてくる。
Holy shit, take another sin off for that little nugget of information. Man, that was dark as hell and very much interesting.
おっさんじゃねえ。 俺まだお前らと同じ10代だ。
Except that being 12 means you have yet to enter the elite age group known as teenagers.
俺生まれてすぐミトさんに育てられたから親父は写真でしか知らないんだ。誰だよミトさんって。
Once again, mentioning a person by name whom the other person has never met or even heard of is odd, dude. How about saying I was raised by my aunt in future to avoid confusion and unnecessary follow-up questions from equally confused people? That card was inside of his head, but when pulled out had no blood on it.
てめえの相手は俺だ。
Giving yourself away before you attack cliche, resulting in a most epic failure.
一次試験を通過した受験者の諸君、中へようこそ。
Boobs.
指定する食材は豚だよ。
豚？豚ってあの豚か？
No as in tennis racket meat.
大きくて頑丈な鼻で敵を弾き飛ばす。逃げ遅れれば自分が豚の食材になっちまうぜ。
Exposition sin, and it's only a sin because the only person he's telling this information to is the lady who is alone with him, who likely already knows all of this stuff given that she too is an examiner.
なんてな。ま、せいぜい緊張して心身ともにズタボロになりな。
I don't know about nervous Rex, but tired? Sure. That seems like a bit of a waste. Widowgasm.
行こうぜゴン。
待ちなさい。お主らわしとゲームをせんかね。
Getting a weird vibe here. Probably best just to say no and leave.
うちはどんな攻撃も自由じゃ。わしの方からは手は出さん。
Says I won't touch you and then goes ahead and touches him.
順調なとこ悪いんじゃが、少しゆっくり飛んでくれんかの。
Him doing that to allow Gon a little while extra to sleep I think was a really nice touch in terms of character development, and I absolutely love stuff like that, so I'm removing a sin here. I don't see any cameras anywhere.
なんで右なんだよ。こういう時は左だろ、普通。
Would it not make more sense for them to take a brief consensus before each vote to ensure they're all thinking along the same lines?
勝負。時間の駆け引きも重要となるわけだな。
Man, seriously, where the hell are all these camera feeds we keep on seeing right in front of them?
俺はデスマッチを提案する。
デスマッチ？
死ぬまで戦うってことかよ。
No.
同時にろうそくに火を灯し、先に火が消えた方の負けってゲーム。どう？
わかりやすい。それでいいよ。
Why? Just f***ing big him up!
それじゃあ長い方ね。
That's what she said.
おお、あのスピード、なかなかいいバネをしているね。
Dude, that camera would have had to have been like on the dude's chest, which clearly it isn't. I'll give them props though, since they have actually shown us one camera, just not one that could create all of those angles, so it's still a sin.
俺は今までに19人殺したが。
And yet your main listed crimes were for fucking fraud and blackmail.
19って数はキリが悪くてイライラしてたんだ。
It's not such an uneven number, it's just a straight up uneven number.
I don't get it. What are you laughing about? I don't know what it's about.
Two minutes ago before the battle began, he was standing roughly one tile in from the edge of the platform, but after this attack we see him not only jump backwards quite a lot, but also slide back even further, and still he has room behind him.
任せといて。私に考えがあるわ。
Eye glinting sound effect helps us the viewer know that an eye is glinting.
忘れたの？勝負はデスマッチ。一方が負けを宣言するか死ぬかするまで戦うと決めたはずよ。
However, he did say that he surrendered right before the final blow.
俺が目覚めた時、そばにあったメモには気絶したふりを続けろ、このメモは口の中に隠せと書いてあった。
And how exactly did he move in the first place to put it inside his mouth?
いいわ。
Who said wow?
それじゃあ次は私が男か女かをかけてもらうわ。
俺が男か女かをかけるってのはどうだ。いやいや、そいつはやっぱり無理があるよな。
Whatever you end up choosing, it's probably unwise to be talking about it out loud in front of your opponent.
おいおいおっさん、さっきから心の声が丸聞こえだぜ。
This kid would be good at anime sins, and annoyingly, I now have to remove the sin.
何を隠そう、じゃんけんにはちょっと自信があるのや。
Describing as a skill something which always has a 1 in 3 chance of you winning.
相手に心理を読まれコントロールされてしまうと負ける確率はぐんと上がる。
Which is, needless to say, pretty impossible unless they've either played with you before or seen you play with others.
つまり彼女はわざとレオリオを動揺させてパーを出しにくくさせた。
そうすればグーさえ出しときゃ勝ちかアイコに持ち込めるもんな。
So here's a thought, why not quickly call him on over and let him in on a few of these things, which may at the very least even the odds slightly.
ねえ、彼らの今の残りタイムってどれくらいかな
59時間45分だ。
So they could just hear him at all times eating away on his chips instead of him having to say, push a button to speak?
バラシア・ジョナス、ザバンシ史上最悪の大量殺人犯だ。
He's so bad that they hired him and gave him the ability to use his awful killing skills to gain massive amounts of years off of his sentence.
Christ.
That is worthy of a sin removal.
やれやれ、これから50時間もこの部屋で過ごさなきゃなんねえのかよ。
No.
お前は負けた上に50時間も無駄な時間を食わされたんだ。ちと責任感じたらどうだ？
But as a guy who has said a couple of episodes ago that you have no interest in winning whatsoever and only in fact want to lose so you can go back and bring down more rookies the following year, having this conversation in the first place seems largely pointless.
うっせえ、あんたになる気もねえやつはほざくな。人の足引っ張ることしか考えてねえくせに。
And he would also be good at anime sins, and again I'm taking the sin off.
こら、何やってんだ。
ごめんごめん。
こんな狭いところでスケボーなんて乗るんじゃねえ。
Just a question, but where are they making their peeps and poops? Having a recap episode after just 12 episodes seems a little much. I mean, I think Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood stuck in its recap episode at like 50 something and Death Note at around 20, 25 if I'm correct. But whatever, I guess episode 13 gets away with a single sin as a result.
44番って。
Ew. I see what you guys were talking about now. Dude just gets more and more fucking creepy.
2番の方スタート。
Yeah, he's definitely gonna have an easy time hiding and monitoring his target.
後ろにもう一人。
Jesus, what the hell is up with his nose?
1週間はまともに歩くこともできないよ。安心しな。水場はすぐそばにある。死にはしないさ。
Well, if he's going to be unable to move for a week, how the hell is he going to get to water?
やられた方だって矢を射る瞬間の殺気を感じて素早く避けて致命傷にはならなかった。
Yeah, we literally just saw this happen gone. It was like everything from the previous 180 seconds, so really no need to go over it again.
ついに密かを狩る会心の技を身につけたゴン。だが そんなゴンもまた。
The anime actually showing us the bird flying away unharmed gets her sin removed.
手が血だらけ。この2日間ずっと竿を振りっぱなしだったからな。
I've done that before for 3 days straight and it never damaged my hands.
ターゲット以外との戦いなんざ時間と体力の無駄だからな。
Two sins here, because firstly he goes on and on about how he has no interest in winning anything anyway, as I've stated before, and secondly you have to fight more than just your target if you intend on getting the 6 points required to pass in the first place.
向こうだって誰かが自分を狙ってるのは十分承知してるだろうからな。
Well, she would be, given that they were all given the target beforehand.
早くもう漏れちまう。
To be clear, dude, you're gonna have to poop either way. You're not that close to going and then going to be given medicine to stop you crapping yourself.
やはりプレートはカバンの中か。
トンパ、てめえら来るか。
その通り。
Do you really have to ask that at this stage?
騙す方が悪いに決まっている。
How do you know he tricked him when most of what he said was when he was running quite some distance away from yourself?
よし、これで俺のプレートは戻ったし。
Well, to be fair, you didn't get it back, but we know what you mean.
What? What the fuck?
あの二人のせいで浴場してきちゃったよ。
Stop!
You may wanna, I don't know, maybe duck or something though? Do a little crouch to hide yourself.
迎え撃つ気だ。
Naruto, run. Reaction occurs long after an attack cliché.
通常なら回復に10日くらいかかるらしい。残り3日。君ならまあ動けるようになるだろう。
Now that was kind of expected by me personally, but also totally unexpected at the same time, if you know what I mean. I actually really liked that, and it fits in nicely with what a lot of you guys were saying in the comments of part 1, that he's more interested in allowing people to continue living in order to grow into something greater later on. For this, and for the impressive character development and admittedly equally impressive character in general, I'm removing a sin here.
戦うか？負けないだろう。いくらなんでも相手はガキだ。
Although you have to assume to at least a certain degree that he knows what he's doing when he's made it this far already and he's just 12 years old.
あとたった1日、すでに6点分のプレートを集めたものなら、少しでもゴールに近いところで様子を見たくなるのが真理だろう。
Then it seems largely pointless you saying it's a waste of time and that you shouldn't do it in the first place.
どうだ？誰かいるか？
いや。
Well, yes, it's obviously absolutely crowded. Can you somehow not see that? Perhaps it's because he stood a foot and a half to his right and thus has a much better viewing angle of the entire area. My enjoyment of this series continues to rise faster and faster, so it can take another well-deserving sin-off for this second part in general. Just in case though, it certainly wouldn't have hurt to have taken a second or perhaps even a third stick with you in case they were indeed trapped slightly further than a meter or two inside of the cave.
蛇が襲ってくる仕掛け。これが蛇使いバーボンの罠。
CGI.
人間の体には一度蜂に刺されるとその蜂の毒に対する抗体ができる。
参ったわ。ご名答よ。
じゃあ君が蜂を使って。
Hey, look at you gone. You're pretty smart, you know that? How did you figure that out? Was it because she literally just said that she used bees to kill him? Is that the little nugget of information which tipped you off and allowed you to solve the crime? You're so fucking smart!
一風変わった決闘をしてもらうつもりじゃ。
一風変わった決闘
God damn it, I was hoping he was going to eat that and I'd finally get the answer to the question, where the hell is his bloody mouth? Why did Gon decide to enter the battle without his fish and pole type of weapon when they were told before the battle began that weapons were in fact allowed? Simply put, this was my favourite episode of all of the 19 I've seen thus far to date. It was incredibly difficult to sim from start to finish and I barely managed to come up with the one I did, just because I thought it was odd that Gon wouldn't use a weapon that could really help him. But seeing him take all of that damage and refuse to give up and getting awesome character development for both him and the ninja guy and then seeing how it all got turned around by the end was an absolute thrill to watch. I'm removing a sim for this entire episode, making it essentially perfect in my eyes, and I give my thanks once again to the patrons for choosing such an awesome series for me to get stuck into and enjoy so much along the way. It really makes my life a hell of a lot easier, that's for sure, when you love what you're working on. Person in a dream having no eyes cliche.
目覚めましたか
No. The fact that I now have to wait until I've finished other videos before I can get back to watching another 10 of these. Don't worry, I'm not adding this as a sin or anything, it's just a neutral sin as I wanted to make my anger known. Either way, what a brilliant episode yet again, so I'm going to leave it here at 70 and get back to it as soon as is humanly possible.
いずれにせよ、キルアは当時、自らの意志で行動できない状態にあった。
Saying all of this as though it's solid evidence is great, but not exactly factual. I mean, when I finished the previous episode, the first thing that came to my mind is that his older brother must have done something to him to mentally make him react in that way, so it could be true. But having said that, none of them know without a shadow of a doubt exactly what's going on, but they are talking as though they do.
すべて憶測に過ぎんの。証拠は何もない。明らかに殺人を指示するような言動があったわけではない。
Jesus f***, I just wrote all of that out, and again they pulled the rug out from under me by saying pretty much the same damn thing. That's 3 times now over the last 2 parts. Okay, removing the sin. Bastards!
不戦勝での合格も自然とは言えないな。
何
Well, a victory by default is odd. It just is. No need to get so upset.
売れば人生7回ぐらい遊んで過ごせますし、持っているだけでも一生遊んで暮らせるはずです。
I suppose that would largely depend on any one person's tastes though, wouldn't it?
果実が美味しく実るまで。
Hisokagasm number 2, and it gets weirder and weirder, I'm told.
先ほどあなたが尋ねていたジン・フリークスその人なのです。
Sudden gust of wind adds to the emotional moment cliche.
どの辺の国だ？
ちょっと待て。今は地図に切り替える。
What's your right hand doing there?
何やってんの？早くバスに乗って！
あ、行っていいですよ。俺たちここに残るんで。
One would assume that the first thing they'd do is have a quick chat with the old dude before the bus leaves and just find out 100% if Killer is actually home or not. As far as they're aware, they could have been easily lied to this whole time and getting back without the aid of the bus would be extremely difficult.
侵入者は全員噛み殺せという命令をね。
いや、忠実じゃないやな。食い殺してるから。
And of course, eating something doesn't involve killing it first?
すみません、失礼します。いや、やっぱり叱られちゃったんか。
屋敷に電話してくれたの？
No, he called his mother-in-law.
おい、俺たちも入って平気なのか？
A little bit late for that now, dude, in either case.
さあ、お茶をどうぞ。その湯飲みは20キロ。
That It is indeed heavy, but they should still be able to lift it, especially with 2 hands. Don't get me wrong, it's heavy, but it's easily doable for an adult, and these are hunters. Okay, this anime is for the 3rd time in a row, just like in parts 1 and 2, getting a sin removed just for being f***ing awesome in general. Once again, I give my eternal thanks to the wisdom of the patrons for choosing this anime for me to sin. A lot of people thought I'd never make it through this, not because it's bad, but because it's long, but I think what some people forget is that thankfully, YouTube is now literally my full-time job. So when I'm sinning an anime like this, and it's this addictive, it makes my life so much easier. Whilst we're here, why don't you guys who really enjoy my content do me a little favour and follow me on Twitter at TheHonestGamer. I'm closing in on 2,000 followers and it would be awesome to hit that goal. And as always, remember, I love you. So to get this straight, they struggled to lift a 20kg cup the previous evening, yet now he's holding what is quite literally about 400 kilograms on either arm, and yes, I counted them up and did the math. Super proud of myself and everything. Oh, but anyway, point is, if he found 20 kilograms with 2 hands hard the night before, then 400 kilograms the very next day with 1 arm is impossible.
Kirua-sama, 助けてあげて。
Oh my god, I totally did not expect that whatsoever. They can go ahead and take a sin off again for this. I know some of you may think I'm removing a few too many sins, but when moments like this happen that massively take me by surprise and genuinely shock me, I think it's only fair to take one off of the total. Poor girl.
まるで私たちがキルをいじめてたみたいに。ただのクソ見習いのくせして失礼だ。
She didn't specifically insult you, in fact she never mentioned you, she just said to help him. Bitch. Seems like a waste of food. Whoa, now steady on, because those lot hadn't passed the line you drew in the dirt like the last ones did. Now you're just going and breaking your word and your own rules.
あなた方の実力では、ズルディック家の人は愚か、執事のところにすらたどり着けません。
Managing to hide blades of that length inside of an open top.
正直なところ、キルア様を奪おうとしているお前らが憎い。さあどっちだ？答えろ。
Is there much point in continuing on with the game when he's already made it very clear that something far more sinister is afoot and that he has clearly dark intentions for the 3 of them? I would think at this stage that the playing of the game would be put on the back burner.
奥様は消え入りそうな声だった。断腸の思いで送り出すのだろう。
Not true, good sir. She was spewing out her garbage at a pretty astounding rate, even more so than usual at the time she met Gon, and I could literally barely hear her speak.
まあそのトリックを使ったのは最後だけだと思うよ。たとえゲームでもズルは嫌いだから、後藤は。
No doubt you are correct, but you were only there for the very end, so you wouldn't really know either way, would you?
また会おうぜ。
そうだな。次は9月1日、ヨーシンシティで。
Everyone says the exact same thing at the exact same time cliché. Surprisingly difficult to do on a whim.
じゃあキルアはどこなのさ。俺か？まあここだろうな。
俺って謙虚。
へえ、半蔵の方が強いの？
No, he just put himself further down the line of weakness from Hanzo because he's secretly stronger and that makes no sense, so don't even ask it. Oh man, are they literally doing an entire recap every 13 episodes? That's such a random number to choose. Either way, I guess episode 26, much like episode 13, gets a simple sin for eating into my precious 10 episodes of Hunter x Hunter, an anime I cannot currently get enough of. Considering how pretty much everything else is normal in this world in reference to our own world, such as cars and buildings and such, it's odd that every blimp needs an odd-looking smiley face on the front of it.
1階闘技場ではこの番号でお呼びしますので、お間違いのないように。では中へどうぞ。
You're welcome.
懐かしいな。ちっとも変わってねえや。キルは来たことあるの？
No, he just said that he had been there before to confuse you for no reason.
対する逗子選手は憲法を駆使し、的確な
な打撃を重ね、無傷で200キロ以上ある巨漢を見事 KO!
Managing a camera angle of the kid when the dude in front of him is large to say the least.
観客のとてつもなくバカでかい声援で一時試合が中断してしまいましたが
Killer was right close to the end, but when the scene changes, he's much closer to the inside.
その本、自分まだ読んでないっす。
あ、
ジュースも自分のっす。
Although clearly you're making a fuck ton of money and could just put the piece of paper back where it was since it's now completely hardened. In short, don't be such a wuss.
それからこのクラスからは原則としてファイトマネーがなくなります。名誉のみの戦いとなりますので、納得された上でご参加ください。
Well, that seems, well, largely pointless to be honest. Now you get to risk dying or extreme bodily injury, and you also don't get paid anymore. But what's worth more than the glory of having defeated your enemy? I'll tell you what's worth more. Money!
また未登録という形になりますと、登録の意思がないものとみなされ、参加自体不可能となってしまいます。
Really? So there's nothing in the rulebooks about some dude physically stopping you from being able to get to the bloody receptionist desk? I hope their insurance covers the use of weird battle techniques. That was so f***ing awesome.
新入りみたいだね。
Man, this dude is into some weird fetish type shit. Oh my lord. Also, character with his eyes completely closed cliche.
2年に一度最上階で開かれる格闘家の祭典バトルオリンピアに出場する権利が得られるのです。
All of this amazing stuff, and you still don't get paid.
ごめんなさい、ウィングさん。どうしても今戦ってみたいんだ。
Ah, if you lose, there's only potential death, isn't it?
このピンチをゴンは切り抜けることができるのか、それとも
My guess is that he'll survive and the series won't come to a rather abrupt end at episode 30 with his untimely death and funeral.
念の攻撃を無防備で受けちまったら生身の体はひとたまりもないんだぞ。分かってる。
With everyone shown screaming, cheering and shouting in the arena, it's amazing that he managed to pick out the voice of a single 12-year-old boy and fully hear and understand his statement.
本気の密かが見られるかもよ。
でもいいのかな、ウィングさんとの約束が。
Yeah, to be fair though, dude, I don't think he was referring to spectating as well.
大丈夫に決まってるだろ。ただ試合を見るだけなんだから。
ダメです。
And for the fourth video in a damn row, you fucking genius writers have pulled the rug out from under me and answered the sin within seconds of me having issued it. Once again though, since I love this anime, I'm more than happy to remove the sin.
師範代？あ、いえ、なんでもないっす。
I must say, I greatly wonder what the hell he is doing with the right side of his body to have his shirt in a perpetual state of untouchedness.
いや、サインもらおうと思ってさ。
私の？
No. Okay, so here I'm going to do my classic age-old neutral sin, because firstly there's definitely a sin for the camera angles which manage to get low-angle up-close shots of people when clearly there's no camera anywhere in front of them. However, having said that, the battle in general and actually getting to witness this dude take down Hisoka a few times has been nothing short of an absolute thrill. Thus, the two cancel each other out.
君が消えたように見えたんだが。
そうなんです。消えたんです。確かにそう見えたんです。
Yeah, alright, calm down, love. You're the commentator for the fight. You're not engaging the two of them in casual talk of strategies and such. Giving away your secret ability during a battle for your life. I know Hisoka has correctly guessed it, but still, he could deny it, and it's definitely not a smart idea to then demonstrate it in front of his enemy. Yeah, if he had a twin, you'd likely have noticed him also enter the fucking ring, wouldn't you? You fucking spanner.
さて、1から13までのカード。まずこの中から好きな数を選んで。
You should really just attack him, to be honest, dude.
綺麗なんだよね。戦いの最中にできた汚れまでは再現しきれない。なんだ。
You'd think the most logical response to this would be to just take off your coat.
見事だ。
Hisoka Weirdogasm number 3.
ところでどうだい？今夜一緒に食事でも。
Snubbed?
君が約束を破って念を使ったら切れるように結んであったのです。私の念でね。
What about if it just decided to take it off as it was annoyingly in the way, or maybe he peed on it a little one night when he was super tired? Would it have worked then?
ねえ、戦おうよ。なんならサービスで俺の能力見せちゃおうかね。
Ooh, removing another sim from part 3 because as it turns out this guy does not actually fall into the old character with his eyes constantly shut cliché category, as they are indeed slightly open. This guy has got pedo written all over him.
おっと。
I'm getting a pedo alert from all 3 of them now!
ほら、急にムラムラと戦いたくなって。
ああ、わかってる。ゴン、お前も脅されていたのか。
I don't really understand the point in not mentioning what happened the night before.
そしてフロアマスターの称号さえあれば、講演、アドバイザー、無条件での新流派設立。
I think you'd be great as a martial arts instructor.
あのガキにまた脅されたりしないかな。
Also, it just occurred to me, but how the hell does this dude get into rooms with normal sized doors when he's got giant ass wheels like this? Yup, and if you thought there was a chance I wasn't going to remove a sim for these 2 awesome fucking scenes, then you were dead wrong. They was awesome. Okay, and lastly, this entire battle gets an easy sin removal all on its own. Also, like I said before guys, if you think I'm removing too many sins, try to think of this series as 90% sins and 10% wins, since I do not do anime wins videos for long anime like these. Otherwise they'd take forever to make in total. I think with an anime like Hunter x Hunter, I'm just coming to terms with how much I fucking love it, so it makes sense to remove a sim when awesome stuff like this happens.
物の持つ働きや力を強くする強化系。オーラを飛ばす放出系。
In future, it seems like it would be a good idea to just have them all on the screen at the same time to save us nearly 20 seconds of going through the 6 different classes.
ほんとだ。確かに、ちょっぴり甘いっす。これ、ただの水じゃないの？
キルア君のオーラでね。
ってことは...
Basically, it means that your special ability is to make flavored water. It's great if you ever run out of orange juice or anything like that.
もしもし、ゴンだけど。
いやー、待ってたよ。僕といつ戦うか決めたかい？
Stop! マジ？やっとできるわ。おお、師範代。やっぱり自分は...
He's already told you like 60 seconds ago, Sushi, that you need to train more. Just an FYI to anyone heading down to the comments, I know his name isn't Sushi, it just looks and sounds similar.
そんな目で見つめないでよ。興奮しちゃうじゃないか。
The fact that they chose to do the first part of this battle in near silence was an absolutely inspired choice. It just made it feel so much more real and intense as hell. They can take yet another sin removal for this. I'll also tie into this removal Gon's brilliant attack at the end of the episode.
しかしこの後、密かの実力を思い知らされる壮絶な激闘が待っているのである。
No fucking spoilers please, narrator-san.
僕たちは相性がいいよ。性格が正反対で惹かれ合う。とっても仲良しになれるかも。
It's time to stop!
今すぐ君を
Hisoka incredibly weird orgasm number 4 and probably one of the worst bloody ones so far. I can take the rest, but I really wish he'd consider not moaning like he does in that really creepy way.
Down point 1, Hisoka! Total, Hisoka 9 point, Gon 4 point!
Wait, what? How the hell do these rules work again? Because Gon landed like 10 or 15 clean hits on Hisoka when he was allowing himself to be openly attacked. Does that not count as clean hits? Or do all 10 or 15 hits count as 2 points? Because that makes no sense.
結構普通ね。
何すんだよ、もう。
冗談よ。本気でやるわけないでしょ。
You say that, but what would have happened if it broke in half, you fucking nugget?
やっぱりお弁当持ってってあげようかな。
It's a big island though, isn't it? How would you know where they are?
これはジンから預かったものよ。あなたがハンターになったら渡してくれって。
How the hell would he know he'd ever have any interest in becoming a hunter?
Yes ってことか。それじゃもう一度聞くぜ。覚悟はあるか。
To be fair, Mr. Gon's father-son, you never asked him that a first time.
だがさっきも言ったが、俺はお前とは会いたくねえ。近づくのが分かったら、とんずらかますぜ。
No offense, Gon, but your dad's a bit of a dick. Also, no doubt the anime will correct me over the next 10 episodes or so, but why even bother to leave all of this behind if he didn't actually want to be found in the first place? Again, I'm guessing this is probably part of some larger task for Gon to test his resolve, but for now the sin stands, and as soon as I get my answer in the future episode, of which there's no doubt in my mind that I will, rest assured that I'll remove the sin.
お前の母親についてだ。聞きたければこのまま聞いてくれ。別にいいなら。
いいのか?
Oh yeah, that's real nice towards your biological mother who, for all you know, spent the last 12 years trying to track you down because Jin stole you from her at birth. That's real bloody considerate, and although I highly doubt that's the case, you don't know.
仕事の内容は問わない。ヨークシンのオークション。
Without identification on the keys, how would you know what keys you're pressing? This is madness! That building in the background is fucking stunning.
こんなチンケな野郎と飯食ってもまずいだけだろ。
デートの相手なら俺たちがしてやるよ。
For some unknown reason, when it comes to anime, any creepy weirdos towards women seem to have issues with keeping their back straight.
ちなみに、彼も潜入者ではない。
失礼ね。彼じゃなくて彼女よ。
What the fuck? Yet another brilliant overall episode with one sin that I could honestly come up with. So for how awesome this entire episode was, I'll remove a sin. There were a few I could have written about, but it would have been over the top nitpicking, so I'm happy to leave it with just the one. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll be sure to see you in part number 5. From a distance, this boat looks like it's made out of paper.
来たぜ。兄貴からのアドレスだ。
よし、行動開始だね。
あ。
Should really actually check the note first before assuming he's given you what you've asked for. Could have just written down "fuck you" for all you know.
結果、護衛団はおるか、ボスを危険にさらした。従って処分した。諸君らは彼の代わりだよ。
What, all 4 of them are replacing one dude?
パクノだ。元気だったか？
もう少し早く来いよ。
あら、
Aside from the old penis nose, I like her. Hair.
凄腕の占い師だとよ、あの娘。
Having a license plate on the front of the car, but then not having a license on it. If you know what I mean.
お疲れ様です。
ねえ、明日のオークション夜からでしょ？
It would appear that Mercedes also sponsors this dude's cheekbones.
おそらく眠ることに関する言葉は病や死の暗示です。わかった。
You know there's a reason why smartphone screens turn off when you hold the phone to your ear? It's to ensure that your Mercedes-sponsored cheeks don't accidentally nudge the screen and stick the phone on loudspeaker.
商売はお前たちだけで落札するんだ。わかりました。
If this dude is his boss, then you'd think the protocol would dictate that he would be the one to end the call with a hearty, okay, goodbye, or something similar, rather than the subordinate saying, I understand, and hanging up the call, which could cause the boss to call him back and say, okay, first of all, I wasn't finished talking yet, and second of all, talk about rude.
そんなことは言われなくても分かってんだよ。
Grey.
参加費用は前払いだよ。
Man, this anime has really got a minor obsession with people having oddly square noses, and it's odd.
君はなぜこの仕事に？
聞いてどうするの？どうせデタラメ言うかもよ。
Perhaps it's to be able to afford a decent visit to a good dentist for a fucking change.
魔王が作曲したとされる独奏曲。ピアノ、バイオリン、フルート、ハープのための4つがあり。
怪談の類ではないのか？
What, something said to have been created by the devil himself, a myth? Oh, you who have such little faith. I mean, unless the devil is a genuine thing in this anime and it'll pop up in a few episodes' time, I don't know. But going on what I know of the last 42 episodes, I'd strongly wager that the devil didn't create it.
時間よ。地下競売が始まるわ。
Yeah, and I'd just like to point out that you guys haven't been paying any attention to the surroundings of the buildings for like the last 5 minutes straight during your chat. Character development is awesome as always, but a quick peek through the old binoculars there wouldn't have hurt to keep up the illusion that you're doing your job. I will forever mourn the loss of Tebibs.
俺たちの中にユダがいるぜ。俺たちの中にユダがいるぜ。
I always find it funny when they say the same line before and after the ad break, but they have it said twice and thus said differently both times. So in essence, it basically sounds as though the person has randomly said the exact same line twice, confusing everyone around them as to why they've repeated it a second time.
この中に裏切り者がいると。
No.
戦車も一発で大釈迦にしちまうこのスーパーバズーカ砲で粉々になれや
Giving away your plan in front of the enemy cliche.
山犬。
俺はヒル。
俺は山嵐。あいつらは俺たちの自由に任せときな。
Oh my fucking god, this is going to be bloody awesome. I cannot wait. Literally, I'm not even messing around here. I'm going to straight up remove 2 sins, which is incredibly rare for me nowadays in anime sins. This first half of the episode was absolutely fucking awesome and one of the best fight scenes I've been able to witness thus far in the series as a whole. I can see so damn easily now how this is so many people's favourite shonen anime and why it has such a high score on my anime list. So yeah, I'll more than happily take off 2 sins for half an episode which had absolutely no sin in it whatsoever.
黙ってろと言ってるんだ。
クラティカ、前見て。
Jesus, how long is he planning on not watching the road? It's been like a good 30 seconds already and he still has yet to veer off course.
原油弾を捉え、その自由を奪う。そのためだけに使うと誓った違う。
Yeah, they'd have long crashed by now. And once again I find myself removing a sin in general for this entire first half. I must say, when it's countless battles, it becomes incredibly difficult to sin anything. In general though, I'm absolutely loving this anime, and I'm glad to still have yet another 5 episodes to watch before I have to move on and sin anything else. Over 30 seconds of recap for an event which literally took place in the 30 or so seconds leading up to the ad break.
そういう予定だったんだな。よせ、クラピカ!
Here I would have very much liked to have seen a physical manifestation of Nen being built up prior to the punch like we've seen in almost all cases up until now. Let's face it, this is one tough dude who barely got injured fighting hundreds of people, so a simple non-Nen fuse punch to the face shouldn't really be causing this much damage to him.
そういえばシャルナークは
さっき連絡があった。コミュニティの連絡係の部屋を突き止めたってさ。
Managing to locate a mafia comms room ex machina.
活動は主に盗みと殺しで、たまに慈善活動もする。
そこまでは知っている。
Wait, what? Sometimes they've performed charitable work? Why do I find myself having a hard time believing that that bunch of nutcases ever do anything good or nice for anyone else?
でもなかなか達成できなくてね。ガードが硬いんだ。常に最低2人は団長のそばにいる。
Including the discount penis nose version of Annie Leonhardt. You can tell when the Mafia are serious about something because they even bring Jesus with them.
一つ言えることは、頭を潰さない限り、雲は動き続ける。
I like the way he talks and everything, but technically if you took all its legs off, well, it would stop moving. Literally.
気楽だろ？返答は？
明日、また同じ時間に。
Probably would have been a lot clearer to simply say, okay, but you do you.
私はクラピカを押すわ。賊を捕らえたのも彼だし、適切な判断力もあると思う。
It's nice to say and all, but it's a little bit of a stretch to say he's shown good judgment when twice now we've seen him completely lose his cool and have to be calmed down by the other members of the group.
お前の断末魔はうるさそうだ。
Teeth clenching sound effects helps us the viewer know that teeth are being clenched. Now I personally would have loved to have seen an awkward little montage of these two leaving the hotel together and walking out to the middle of the desert.
お前、何者だ?
They're doing.
手応えあり。
Okay, if you guys will just politely excuse me for just one moment, please. Oh my god, this is so fucking awesome! This is a very cool scene and well deserving of a sin removal. Also, although the next moment actually occurs after the next sin, I'm also adding it to the reason why I'm removing a sin, which is where he chains him up. It's bloody brilliant. Talking about him as though he's not right there in front of you, cliche. What you're looking for is, damn, you keep on darting around. Okay, now that was just amazing. Simply put, for me personally, it was one of the best scenes of this entire part so far, and I say that easily without hesitation. One absolutely brilliant moment.
中身がすり替えられたものだったら、お前、どうすんだい?
To be fair though, you have no idea what the item inside even is in the first place, so even if it was actually swapped out years ago, how would you know the item inside wasn't the item originally inside it, but it just so happens that some loser stuck a pretty shitty item in there and that's all? Should all of that not have been audible if lightly shaken anyway, and then you'd have heard what sounds like a bunch of items and coins and not say a single lump of coal or something like they just showed in the demonstration?
ああ、どこかわかんねえが、俺たちを意識してる。
鎖野郎かね。
How would he know that exactly one way or another? CGI.
誘いに乗ってこないね。
多分鎖野郎じゃないかもな。
Although you did just say that you couldn't sense literally anyone or anything tailing you.
故に鎖野郎は単独犯で、今俺たちを追ってる奴らとは違う。
なんか穴がボコボコの理論だけど。
This lady would be good at anime sins.
俺と組もうぜ。
やだ。お前らの仲間になるくらいなら死んだ方がマシだ。
Jesus, Gon, you're kind of tactless, dude. He's in a situation where he could be killed if he says the wrong thing, and instead of politely saying no, his mind tells him the best course of action is a big fat no. Fuck you.
ゴン。俺がおとりになる。その隙にお前だけでも逃げろ。
何言ってんだ。
まったくだ。
Also, I didn't imagine it. He really did just say that in that tiny ass room where he could be more than easily heard. That's odd.
念の基礎しか知らない俺たちの叶う相手じゃないね。なんだよ。
Yeah, get bloody going, lads. He might not be that far behind you and you're standing about chatting.
トイレに行ってくる。いいよ。荷物ちゃんと見ててね。
This seems largely irresponsible when you're charged with keeping the daughter safe at all costs and then you don't even go in with her despite her saying it's okay.
俺には真似できん。自分を殺す人生に意味あるか。
お嬢様、遅いですわね。
Yep, doesn't take a genius to watch the door and realise 5 went in, including the daughter, and 5 came out. But is anyone watching the door? No! No, they're not! Numpties.
俺の名を呼ぶのは自由だな。指図は受けない。俺たちのやり方でやる。
シルバー、ゼノって、まさかゾルディック家か？
Oh, shit. I only just realised this myself. This is going to be so fucking badass to see his father fight it out with the troop with his grandfather. But yeah, anyway, I'm removing a sin here, and again, I'll state for anyone potentially skipping videos that this is now one of my favourite anime. It's not getting a wins version as it would take too long to make, and thus when I'm super excited, I'm dishing out wins here and there.
調子はどうだい？
まあまあだ。
まあまあね。偉くなったもんだぜ。
Dude, relax, he said. Not too bad. Not, oh, a lot better than you, little bald poor man with a smaller house and car than me. I don't know. Maybe he misheard him. They are a whole meter away from each other.
何でももみ手のしすぎで手をやけどしたそうじゃねえか？大丈夫か？
交通規制くらいは朝飯前だよ。
Unless they're going 5 miles per hour, that image is not getting small enough quick enough.
検問中の全警官に指示を頼む。参加証を持たない17、8歳くらいの娘が検問所に来たら保護してくれ。
Would probably be a lot easier to just send a picture of her from your phone though, dude. Also, in case you're thinking they can't do this, we actually do see in an earlier video a device which contained pictures.
行こうか。そろそろオークションの下見の時間だ。
Dude, she ordered a drink and didn't even touch it. This bugs me just as much in TV shows, as you'll often see people get a drink and then end the scene without taking a sip. Strange things bug me. Maybe I'm strange.
そういえば彼女は死後の世界否定派だったね。
そうなの。だから私も信じてないんだけど。
Because you trust someone who was proven to be a con artist at the same profession as you? This almost feels like an incredibly dangerous piece of technology not likely to be used in a high-rise building. Reaction occurs long after an attack cliché.
てめえらが旅団の奴らじゃねえという証拠はねえからな。少しでも妙な動きを見せたら弾くぞ。
I suppose you could have checked to, at the very least, see if he has credentials of actually being a doctor?
ここにいるすべてが組織の組長と大幹部のはず。
Dude, what the fuck happened to your mouth?
アホか。本気出せば300メートルはいけるわい。 全くもって割に合わん仕事じゃて。
That's odd. I always assumed they would be telling us that these guys took on the job for a different reason than simply money. Only because we were shown a flashback a few episodes ago where the father was telling his family that taking contracts against the Phantom Troop is off limits as it's far too dangerous even for them to handle. But of course, as always, if it's later explained that there is in fact another reason for them taking the job, then I'll remove the send like always.
クラピカ、遅いぞ。すぐ戻ってこい。ネオンのそばを離れるな。
How can he say you're late when the plan was that he would return whenever the boss called him? There was no set time agreed upon. Oh my god, this is so f***ing good! Wearing sunglasses at night looks cool as fuck, but very much reduces your ability to see and thus do a proper job.
あの娘の乗る救急車は襲うな。
行く途中は本当に安全なんだろうな。
もし救急車を襲う気なら来る時に仕掛けているはずです。
Although, wouldn't it be really pointless to attack the ambulance on its way to pick her up rather than doing something whilst it's actually arrived and she's in it?
これさえあれば金など吐いて捨てるほど入ってくる。
Aww, they should really put that on a birthday card or something. What a sweetheart.
なるほどな。どんな形であれ、助けになったならよかったぜ。
This has got to be one of the strangest ways to hold and smoke a cigarette.
マジかよ。電源切られちゃって。それ以上確かめようがないんだ。
You could always just call him back, dude.
もう少しいい時間帯に品が出せたら4億を超えた。苦渋が悪かった。真面目だな、お前さん。
Wouldn't anyone though when it comes to making the most amount of money off of something? Especially when you happen to be someone who actually knows how much the stuff is worth?
雲でないものを念の鎖で攻撃した場合、私は命を落とす。
は？どういうこと？
Well, if he uses his chains on someone who is not a spider, then he'll die. I don't know, I thought it was pretty straightforward.
信長、俺の質問に答えろ。信長、俺の質問に答えろ。
They did that thing again where they have the same statement read out twice in two different ways prior to and after the break, again making it look very odd and like the person has randomly decided to say the same thing twice, albeit slightly differently.
つまり6月をそれぞれ暗示している。
The fact that they're getting rid of Miss Boobs despite her penis nose upsets me greatly.
ああ、雲の死体はフェイクだ。確かに具現化系の能力者なら可能だ。くそ、なんでこんなことに頭が回らなかったんだ。
Well, to be fair to you, you'd never have realised it given the information you had to hand at the time. Just because it's possible for a copy to be made of a body doesn't mean that it necessarily is a fact. It's not even like there was a way of simply checking the bodies to see if they were copies, since from what we've been told, they are exact copies that the Spider member can create.
俺たちは何でもするぜ。
Dude, unless you're planning on sticking a band-aid on someone, you can't really do all that much to help. I was seriously hoping that he himself had learned some sick-ass ability he's just keeping to himself at the moment, but now I'm pretty sure he's just a straight-up doctor.
白野田の手に渡ると同時に内容が変わった密かな占い、それが意味するものとは一体。
Well, it means he used his special ability on it to create a fake one. Come on, narrator San, you should know this.
てめえが撃ったのか。無謀。イエスと取るぜ。どけ。まあ待てよ。話を聞いてからだ。
Very much seemed that he wasn't giving an explanation when asked if he sold Uvo out, though.
つまり差し出すには剣で刺すという意味もかけてある。いいよ。
Hisoka incredibly weirdogasm number 5.
その刃ってさ、3本出せる？
任務完了の後はそのルール解除できるんだろうな。
キルはレオリオ。
It's a little late to act surprised once they've both already popped up and spoken, you numpty.
なんだ、そうか。
笑えねえぞ、おい。
Killua would be good at anime sense. Kind of worked out for the shot that the groups you wanted to form all happened to be standing near one another. That was handy.
が、話を聞く限り、そいつは雲には入らないだろう。
説得するさ。
He says this like he's got Gon's phone number or email or something. As things stand right now, he'd have no clue even where to start looking for him if he wanted to indeed find him. This definitely doesn't help the whole looking like a girl thing.
混雑してればなんとか。レオレオ、南へ向かってくれ。
Okay.
He took his seatbelt off randomly in order to be freely able to consume a sandwich. The fact that for once in an anime a dog is actually given a proper dog sound and not a person making a dog sound. A rather inconspicuous bunch in public, aren't they?
動くなっつってるわ。二度もよ。
It's not like he could have gone anywhere when he's completely surrounded, and she may still have had more questions for him. Also, the first warning came from when she broke his arm and let it go, and then naturally gravity did its thing and his arm flopped down. So it's hardly 2 warnings.
そういうこと。何か勘違いしてるわね。私が引き出すのは記憶の底の最も純粋な元気欲。
If you're trying to remain inconspicuous in the middle of a fairly packed hotel, then it's probably not the best idea in the world to physically lift up 2 kids by their jaws off of the ground. Removing a sin here for what is quite literally one of the most tense moments I've felt personally in an anime since All Might waited till the final second for his fellow teachers to arrive and help following his battle against Nomu in Boku no Hero Academia. I love feeling like this, on absolute tenterhooks about what's about to happen. It feels great.
右のやつが抜けた。見えない。これを企んでたのか。
Okay, so she's getting a sin for asking a pretty simple question that has an obvious answer, given that the moment things went dark she felt them get free from their bonds, but at the same time it's done so beautifully that it earns itself a win, so it's a neutral sin overall.
冷静になれ、クラピカ。状況は五分。何にも進展してねえんだ。
Still though, giving him a few punches isn't exactly going to ruin the situation they find themselves in, dude.
僕のターゲットは団長のみ。彼が解放されれば僕も船を降りるよ。団長と戦いたい。
I don't know why this should affect him so much. In the end of the day, so long as he gets his friends back, ultimately that's all that really matters. What they choose to do after they've escaped is up to them.
俺は奴にジャッジメントチェーンなる鎖を心臓に刺されて、もう念能力も全く使えないんだ。
This reaction is absolutely priceless.
少なくともクロロが僕に殺されることはなくなった。壊れたおもちゃに興味はないんでね。
Why didn't he pick up the top he took off prior to what he was hoping would be his battle? The whole second half of this episode was crazy good and actually ends on an oddly sad note that their captor wished to thank the boys for having stayed with her despite their ability to escape if they wanted from her. All in all, this episode was just amazing, and now I'm really looking forward to seeing what the next arc is going to bring with it to the table.
ではこのソフトの不思議な力をご覧いただきましょう。を守っているのです。この中で誰かがプレイし続けている限り。
When the huge guy walks off the stage, it no longer shakes with every step he takes like it did on his way in.
君が覚えたこと全部、それを同時にです。
Oh, so no goodbye and thank you then?
それは親父の理屈。俺はもう殺し屋じゃない。ハンターだ。
You're actually not, but I do get and understand the sentiment.
俺たちはもっと早くゲームクリアするつもりだけどな。
負けねえよ。
Although to be fair, the sheer magnitude that you've fallen behind by compared to the other 3 is almost incomprehensible. So in short, not only have you fallen behind, but you've got 1,000 miles to go until you catch these 2 up.
俺はただこのゲームを自慢したいだけだ。理由がどうであれ、ここまで来た以上、あるアイテムを手に入れない限り、ここから出られない。
I've said it before, but I'll say it again. His dad is a real dick.
でもジンからのメッセージはあったよ。
なんて？
ゲームを楽しめって。
ゲームを楽しめか。
Don't forget the part where he was a real dick to you, saying he's not there, he doesn't want to see you, he just wanted you to see the game, and so on and so forth. Like a real dick.
あ、町だ。
How did he see the town when we only got a glimpse of it after the view went way up high?
消えた。
No.
とにかく初めて来たばかりの君たちにとって情報を聞くだけでも有意義だと思うがね。
なんで初めてだって思うの？
Well, for one, you were just asking him follow-up questions about the use of Nen on another player and the use of spells and what they are for, so naturally it would appear to someone who has knowledge of the game that you in turn do not have knowledge of the game and thus are new players.
例えば、俺が入手難度 SS のカードを単独でゲットしたら、報酬は？
もちろん、そのランクなら5億で取引している。
Why would that be the case? Naturally, because you up until now have only spoken about evenly splitting the 50 billion reward with no mention of individual extra cuts for anyone.
よし、出発。待ってください。
Cliche anime girl run is very cliche. So, are they running or teleporting?
対処法は薬で熱を抑えるしかありません。
How about not coughing directly in Gon's face, you old bastard?
情報とかアイテムとか。身ぐるみ剥がされた上に一文なしになっちゃったね。
Why did they go on to give away both the money and the clothing when it was clear they weren't going to get any items or information from the disgusting sick people?
その代わり、教えを請う身として私の言いつけは絶対守ること。どんな奴かもわかんない人間に物を教わるほど俺たち切羽詰まってねえし。
In fairness to her, she never once said anything about begging to be taught anything. She merely said you must follow her instructions precisely.
もしかしてメガネかけた寝癖坊や？いつもシャツの裾を出してる？
知ってる
の？ No.
どうすればいい？切り替えが早いわね。頭のいい子だ。
Why? Just because he asked what should we do? That doesn't take any level of intelligence, it's merely asking a question.
切ってやったぜ、お前の髪。
One of the least intimidating sayings from an enemy I've heard to date. I've cut your hair! Okay.
失礼で57歳。この会見でか。それよりも驚くべきは、なんという鍛え抜かれた肉体。
Stop!
これ落ちてた。
Removing a sim for this, I love it when we get character background information in this anime, as it's rarely ever done, but when it is, it's done very well. I actually just wrote what you heard prior to seeing this second clip, and I must admit that it actually really hit me in the feels and almost brought a tear to my eye. Incredibly well done and very much worthy of a sin removal.
順序よく進めていけば確実に強くなるようにプログラムされている。
Naruto run! For a fantastic episode that contained just huge chunks of information being thrown at you, and of course the end reveal of the bomber and their plan, and the fact that the Phantom Troop has managed to figure out how to physically get to Greed Island, I'm going to remove the one sin from this episode.
実は今、俺がマグネティックフォースで会えるプレイヤーは、あいつらだけだったんだ。豚もおだてりゃ木に登る。
No they can't.
もしも奴らの言う一斉解除が、実は、一斉爆破だとしたら。
Even though the clock read 24 minutes and 11 seconds, it only takes roughly 1 second of his internal monologue for the clock to change to 23 minutes.
ボマーは俺たちを全て始末する。したと思い込むはず。
How does he know that the bomber didn't actually go through with his plan to disarm the bomb though? His own bomb was eaten by the weird CGI monster moments before they triggered the detonations on everyone, and we never saw any evidence that the CGI monster had the bomb explode inside him. So basically he's talking with knowledge that technically speaking he shouldn't have yet.
ごめんごめん。おそらくこれは団長じゃない。団長はまだ助念を終えてないんだ。
You said it's probably not him, but then went on to make what can only be assumed as an assumption that he has yet to purge the Nem from his body.
あり得るな。だとすると大天使の息吹は原因待ち。
Character with his eyes perpetually shut cliché.
あの台、5回連続で大当たりが出てただろ？
やってた客も変だったしな。
I guess you could always pull the handle and then walk away from the machine though?
うわ！ 顔ぐっちゃぐちゃだぜ。
Being able to tell that his face is mush when he's laid face down.
よし、これでトータル54種類。ゲット！
Everyone says the exact same thing at the exact same time cliché. It's also incredibly hard to do on a whim.
コンタクトやフルラスコピーには利用できないわよ。実際に会うまでは。一つお利口になってよかったわね。坊や。
Yes, thank you, miss. Stupid pirates. It's not that funny.
あいつらに15人の仲間を集めるのはまず不可能だからね。あんたたちもしばらくこのイベントほっといたら？
Rather randomly, this dude's feet and legs begin to oddly disappear as they walk away.
おやおや、これは予期せぬお客さんだ。
Yeah, that constant sound definitely wouldn't get annoying and drive everyone out of the city.
誰も助けちゃくれないぜ。
Rapey fucking weirdos who have trouble standing up straight cliché.
果たして密かは敵か味方か。
He's definitely a foe.
やっぱりお前がゴンか。お前が来たら手加減するなと言われてるぜ。お前の親父にな。
Gon, your dad's a dick. I really can't see him finally catching up to him in the future and then having a loving father-son relationship after all the shit he's pulled on the poor lad. I must admit, I've had a really hard time finding synths for this part 7. However, I mainly put that down to the fact that it's the Green Island arc. What I mean by that is that the majority of episodes have been located in one area, and the dialogue has contained huge amounts of information about the game and the cards, etc. So basically it's been like one large knowledge dump, and when that happens you can't really syn it unless the info is useless like it was in Log Horizon for example. But because this episode in particular was highly entertaining due to the group having Hisoka on their side for the first time ever, I actually really enjoyed it. There's always something special about having the dynamics of the group changed that keeps things really interesting, so I'll remove a syn here. Oh my god, that was amazing!
俺、分かってたんだ。キルアの手のこと、分かってた。
To be fair though, there was little point in hiding the damage to his hands, since he'd have had to have taken them out of his pockets to hold the ball for the next shot regardless, and then the damage would have been clearly visible anyway.
レーザーの念銃が消えていく。
Actually, by the time she speaks, they had vanished. Past tense and shit.
あれはまさに。
合体。
Nah, I think Hisoka is just seeing an opportunity to be weird and fucking jumped on it quicker than they could react.
経験不足を補ってあまりある天才的なセンスによってキルアはこの難関を見事クリアした。
Making a great deal of assumptions there about his apparent lack of experience and doing it based on literally no evidence since he doesn't know him.
しかし取ればボールの威力で俺の体ごとエリアの外へ飛ばされるだろう。取る選択肢はなし。
かといって逃げるわけにはいかん。
I love this moment, but you'd think for a bull moving at that speed he wouldn't have all of this time for a lengthy chat with himself via internal monologue. But since Gon's hit beforehand was completely badass, I'm making this a neutral sin.
実は俺も死刑囚だ。人も殺めている。捕まって無所に入り、刑が確定し、陣に雇われてここに来た。
Seemingly no crime in this universe is enough to actually stop people from just being plucked out of prison and death row to be hired for a job by someone. Oh, you're a death row inmate, are you? Kill 1,000 people with your bare hands? No worries, pal. I'll have a word with the warden since I'm totes popular. You're hired.
俺の息子がいつかここへ来る。したら遠慮しねえでぶっ飛ばせよ。
Gene seems to have spent the majority of his life making incredibly lucky bets on whether or not his son will even be bothered to leave Wild Island in the first place, and has subsequently gotten his progress in life correct from the bloody get-go, and all based on what can only be assumed is a series of hunches.
を前に自分の作るゲームの話を何時間もガキみてえに夢中で話したかと思えば。
Yeah, not many kids know how to make games though, Mr. Murderer-san.
ここがそうよ。窓？
Sorry, my dudes, but this is not a window. It's a big old hole in the wall. For it to be a window, there has to be a pane of glass.
密か、成功させろよ。
君たちくどいね。させるさ。僕のためにね。
本気で団長と戦う気。
No, he's just going through all of this effort for absolutely no reason. Anti-gravity skirt. Thank God though, I guess.
理想は 0.01 秒以内。はい、始め。
He started the stopwatch before kicking his aura back in, rendering the process pointless.
事前の打ち合わせで俺から彼らに大丈夫だと伝えない限りゲーム内には戻らないと決めたんだ。
So I think the most important question at this point is the following. Where are you making peeps and poops whilst up in a tree for 10 days?
3時10分。時間だ。
Bye-bye! 10 minutes in their time have passed, but for us only 50 seconds, and before you ponder this sin, we were told that the game takes place inside the world, and thus time also runs concurrent with the real world's time.
恋人だ。長く入院していた。
For about 45 years, I hope. Otherwise you're a creepy old dude, my dude. Aw, the story they tell is actually incredibly sweet and so easily deserving of a sin removal.
腕づくの交渉になったらの話だがな。サブは釣り目。バラは女を頼む。
That's genuinely racist.
そして何より元の姿が嫌だから。
Hey, that makes fucking two of us. I hate the way you look too.
OK。実験その2。
ヨーヨーだ。
How do you know what it is? It's not like you can see!
反撃できるはずがない。反撃してきたってことは、ダメージを最小限に留めたということ。
Naruto, run!
オーラでの防御が不十分な状態でリトルフラワーを受けた場合、顔なら目、鼻、口などは吹き飛ばされ、修復不可能になる。
Surely you mean his lips though, right? I mean, the mouth isn't exactly exposed and sticking out like the eyes and the nose are.
行くぞ！ケンセル！
こいつ、完全に、イカれてやがる！
Yes, he sure is, and I absolutely fucking love what just happened, and the music and the voice acting and hell, just about all of it. Take a sin removal here, you beautiful bastard animators.
岩！
This was absolutely awesome, but I cannot help but wonder why he didn't just make his way quickly into the tunnel to pursue Gon regardless. In fact, I think knowing what we know of him, it makes sense to think he would follow Gon extremely quickly before he even had a chance to throw the card into the air, since we know he's fast as hell. God damn it, once again the anime pulls the rug out from under me. Normally I'd just remove the sin like it never happened, but I think it's important every now and then to leave it in as a way to tip my hat to the animators and let all of you know I've got a great deal of appreciation for them and the anime they've created here. So, removing the sin.
俺の方がよっぽど立ち悪いだろ。
いや、お前とこいつらとは違う。俺はお前を気に入っているが、こいつらのことは大嫌いだ。
Well, I agree with you, and I can see your point, but I imagine that this is where your argument and logic fall apart because it ultimately ends with, yeah, but I don't like them, which again, is a fair point since they're dickheads and all.
勝負がついて大天使の息吹が手に入ったら誰が怪我しても治そうって。
Although to be fair, the dude in the middle I think could easily still survive without being healed. He's likely hurt by Gon's attack, but he's still able to speak and everything, so how bad could it be? So after all that, some smartass with a photographic memory can just come along and win the final card? Jin, you continue to be a dick in how you design this game.
奴らはチームで協力してクイズを解く気だわね。私たちはどうする？
ちゃんと一人一人でやろうよ。
So one thing I'm slightly unclear about is how did all these people who jumped to them actually know A, where they were, and more importantly B, who they were that had made it to 99 cards?
カードを全部かけて勝負しようぜ。悪いが、これは強制だ。
It's not funny.
すげえ連中だな。あのベラム兄弟があっという間だったぜ。
Wait, Bellum brothers? I don't know why, but I have a feeling as though they might not actually be brothers.
どんなって？だって、ジンに会えるかもしれないんでしょ。ずっと探し求めてた父親に。
Well, given that he was told by the giant murderer dude back in episode 71 that his father isn't there, I kind of doubt it.
彼はドゥン。
ま、わかってると思うが、お前の親父の連れだ。
How would he know that?
グリードアイランドという名前は制作者全員のファーストネームの頭文字を取って付けました。
Wow, he really lucked out in terms of their names then in that case. I wonder if he ditched a Zebediah Willoughby along the way because it just wasn't going to work out. Not going to get very far unless these numpties move the f*** out of the way.
ありがとう。エレナさん。
覚えてくれたの？
Nope, it was a guess. Oh man, that's really genuinely sad. A dog being able to jump and catch a loaf of bread I could easily believe, but a dog knocking off these two boxes perfectly onto these goons' heads stretches my realms of belief a touch too far. Where's the bite mark from the dog?
そいつは俺のガキだ。名前はゴン。
Why did he feel the need to describe an incident with a child that he admittedly didn't know was Jin's son though? Also, did he perfectly describe him so that Jin would know it was him? And that's even more odd since Jin hadn't seen him since he was a baby and thus wouldn't know what he looked like.
才能ってうるさいの。なんてねや。
この短時間ですっかり馴染んじまって。
Well, seemingly, as long as you laugh at his odd observations or whenever he does, the guy will take right to you.
お兄ちゃん。レナね、大きくなったらお兄ちゃんと結婚する。
お母さんと約束したんだ。レイラを守るって。
I feel really sorry for this kid, but he really should have just bloody run away. Dude, he's asleep with the whale!
それが体長2メートルにも巨大化していたなら人間などひとたまりもない。
So at 1 meter and 3.5 feet, you're still pretty good to go?
俺に命じてるのか？なぜ俺がお前ごときの命令に従わねばならん？
So, did he find this massive top or was he born with it? The style doesn't exactly match that of the non-technology people living on the island since it looks like a wrestling vest and all.
そうだよ。あの人の方が倒れちまうよ。
それでも探さずにいられないんだよ。
Unlike you who can't start looking.
お母さん
You're welcome.
潜入捜査が見つかれば捕まって処刑されちゃうし。
Surely it must be pretty easy to enter a country completely against technology with technology that would give you a significant edge in keeping your head off the chopping block, as it were.
それはおそらく銃というものだな。
銃?
They found a book talking about guns in a country that bans and executes anyone bringing in technology to the country. Check out that pile of fucking books. He's supposed to be getting humans for his queen, and the only place he's raiding is the bookstore.
ならば一つ教えてほしい。人間も軍隊を持っているのか?
The first book Mr. Turtle-san should read is a dictionary, because that wasn't an army. That was a band or a group of soldiers. Far from the numbers required for an army.
女王様のお呼びだ。
師団長ども、集まれ!
But of course, by all means, take your sweet fucking time getting to her.
女王様も私たちみたく話せたらいいのにね。
Nice tail. You're a star. Get it? Wink. Dude, seriously, where the hell are they getting all of these pieces of clothing from? Now there's a guy in what can only be described as a hoodie onesie in a country full of people wearing all normal shit.
パソコンとか機械あるじゃん。
Good thing you caught onto that, Killua. You've got a keen sense on you and quite the pair of hawk eyes to pick up on that.
以前体内に部品を埋めて銃を持ち込んだ方々がいらっしゃいましてね。
Jesus, surely it'd be easier to fly it in or bring it in by boat?
いや、まだおりますわ。
I'd love it if they actually explained to us how the guns became ineffective seemingly overnight against these enemies. I mean, the first time they shot at them, they killed all but one instantly, and now the guns seem so useless that they don't even leave any visible signs of damage on the monsters. Here we get one massively huge chunk of backstory for this character, and it's actually, as always, written extremely well, which is to be expected. It goes painfully through his childhood story of living under his abusive, good-for-nothing father and how little he cared for his son, ending up being that he didn't actually care at all. I'm not quite sure as to why we were given this extensive backstory though, given that he's seemingly dead now, killed by the monsters that attacked the base, but all the same I thought it was worth mentioning because it was told really well. They can have a sin removal for this.
一度 NGL を出て全世界にこのことを発表し駆除隊を結成する。
何でもいいから早くここから逃げようぜ。
Yeah, to be fair, dude, one big part of his plan did actually involve leaving the country so as to warn people about what was happening. Yeah, that wouldn't happen. Jesus, I thought we were told that these bees protect her if anyone tries to harm her, and here they're just happily buzzing around like nothing's happened.
すでに NGL の口はキメラアントに制圧されたと見ていいだろう。
This anime loves Naruto runs, doesn't it? A legitimately difficult way to run.
私が捕らえたレアものなら一人で1000人分の栄養があるから。
レアもの？
その特別な人間には1000人分の栄養が？
No, she just said that because it's not true, and believe me, she literally said exactly that just a moment ago. Perhaps you should listen more, Mr. Penguin-san. Last time it was Eagle-Eyed Killua who came up with the Sherlock Holmes level observations, and this time it's my boy Gon using his keen senses to notice the busted open shack is in fact empty. Pure genius. Now this has to be fucking rehearsed, surely. Two young lads can't happen to say the exact same thing at the exact same time? This is madness! This is literally caused by him shouting. You'd think that gravity would have something to say about this extreme lack of flapping when he's not carrying just his own body weight, but the weight of the other dude as well.
奴らまさに吐いて捨てるほどいるんだぜ。いわばゴミ。俺がやってるのはゴミ掃除だよ。
Well, yeah, clearly they do, because it's stated they're the source of food for the queen. Thus you just randomly killing a bunch of them takes away said food. So whether or not he means trash in a literal or even figurative sense, his thinking is backwards. It's not fucking funny. Man, these guys have got a real obsession with laughing over it, which has no comedic effect. What the hell about this situation is actual laugh out loud funny? One would assume that Killua, a trained assassin before this entire story even began, wouldn't need help having to be reminded of this when it comes to what are clearly monsters though.
毒効かない体質なんだよね。
Killua is such a fucking badass. Man, take a send off for this.
こっちから攻撃すると見せかけて奴が打ってきたパンチをガード
Kind of hard to believe that going by the timer, these two have apparently been in these ready stances for like 7 whole damn minutes and neither has made a move to attack. I know it's good to deal with the battles one at a time, but god damn it, it's 7 minutes! Someone do something!
頭と胴体が切り離されても1日くらいなら生きていられるような生命力を持つ連中確実に頭を潰せ
You may have done well to inform them of that rather important little fact before now though, in fairness.
あの時の俺たちを撃ったやつだ。
He didn't shoot you, he shot at the nest of ants you were standing directly on top of that were about to attack you. You just happened to be standing on it.
口の中にルーレット
変な能力。勝手に喋るの？
No.
絶対にアリは根絶やしにして批判は全てハンター協会がかぶれということですな。
To take the blame for what? For killing off the creatures attempting to wipe out all humans on the planet?
女王がいて、その下に直属護衛隊、さらにその下に師団長。
This is great and all, but a good question here is, how do you know? So did he find these glasses that don't fit him? Does he even need them? They keep finding stuff everywhere in the country where there shouldn't be any of it.
ゴン、キルア3秒後に上へ飛べ
For the record, that was substantially longer than 3 seconds, dude. In fact, if they'd listened to you, they'd be chopped in half about now.
全くもって鬱陶しい
だからなんでそんな能力に
Killer will be good at anime sins and is clearly attempting to take my job away from me.
仲間をゴミっていうような奴らに同情なんかしない。
それが危険なんだ
It certainly is, if only because he's focusing more on the fact that one of them was mean to one of their kind instead of, say, all of the many, many people they've killed and eaten.
敵の注意を引きつけ一定の距離を保ちつつ攻撃せよ
I find myself wondering why on literally every single occasion prior to now we've seen these soldiers look unique to one another, but now there's a group that are suddenly and randomly completely identical in their half insect, half human-like bodies. So basically what I'm saying is, where the hell did they come from?
王様なんだから隠れてないでダーッと獲物の前に出て
黙って見てろ
はいはいまあ私はレア物が食べられればどうでもいいんですけどね
If you don't care, then you shouldn't have questioned his style and methods of catching the prey, you dumb insect bitch.
4の933と言われてもねえなとっくに女王様の腹の中だ確かか
He starts off by saying that the code doesn't mean anything to him, but then goes on to say that he can't see him and that he must have been given to the queen already. The flaw in the logic being that if he doesn't know what he's looking for, how can he say it's not there?
そうと、これは天より与えられた才能という運命。
A chimera ant, born purely with the insect to provide for their queen, randomly believes in a higher power or a god.
面白そうな話をしてるね。才能がどうとか。
And she even managed to instantly find a nice female suit jacket in a country of farmers with olden-timey type clothes.
そしてゲームをクリアした後、カイトに合わせたのも。
ジン
Just for the record, saying this out loud like this is confusing because it's random and it's almost as though he's right in front of you and you're calling out to him. Jin!
負ければ相手の掟やルールに従い多くの場合命を奪われる
ルール
God, did you hit your head during the last battle, dude? This This is twice now you've just spouted a word and it admittedly did make me giggle on both occasions, but now I'm just worried for you. Say one more consecutive word in a row and I know I can rest easy.
あれも森の掟、ルールだもんね。ジンに代わってルールを教えてくれた。
Well, he taught you a rule in his place, but he left shortly afterwards chasing after your old man.
ジンさんのだ。
え、ジンの？
No.
俺たちは大バカだ。
You were indeed fools, but you earned the anime a sin-off for changing things up in such a dark and awesome way. I just really and genuinely hope Kaito will be alright, but right now that's looking highly unlikely. I can't show the image on screen because YouTube and all, but holy f***, I kind of feel ill. Not because the sight of Kaito is too much to bear, but purely because Gon was filled with such positivity that he was definitely without a doubt alive, when in fact he fell in combat against that horrific beast. When I feel like this, I always try and remove a sin because it's my way of showing appreciation for the anime being able to invoke these feelings within me. She's oddly holding up the front of her dress even though it doesn't drag on the floor or anything. Discount Part 4 JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
夢のような時間だった。
Where did they get the ice? Also, what are they gonna do when it melts?
きっとあなたたちを殺すわ。
それ脅し?
Oh no, definitely not. A threat to kill you is rarely ever a threat.
問題はいかにして勝つかじゃが、妙案があれば賜りたい。
This is just a thought and a cheeky one at that, but couldn't they just fly something over the nest and drop explosives on it or something? We know we've seen all kinds of strange and wonderful things in this world, such as the creation of Greed Island, which took place in the real world, and part of that was the ability to drop a giant-ass boulder. So surely it's possible to attack from the sky and destroy it? Although that would be no fun, of course.
俺たちはどんなことをしたって NGL に戻らなきゃならないんだ。
Stop!
あ、目が覚めた？
No.
ナックルさんもね。
あ？お？
Yup. A good scene.
先に隊長が消えて徐々に仲間がいなくなったと。人間の反撃か。
まあそう考えるのは妥当だろうな。
It's not only the logical conclusion, but it's the only conclusion, unless you want to entertain the idea that they're disappearing into nothingness at random.
もう少し濃度を上げるか。
Okay, this is cool and all, but how the f*** did they get all this science-type equipment randomly? I know they found stuff to make drugs and guns, but hardly a containment chamber for bringing people back to life.
なんだ、他にもいたのか。遠慮はいらねえ。お前らも食え。
Dogs are waiting verbal permission before eating, but at the same time they are towed to dorbs, and if you know me even a little bit, you'll know I love animals, so this is a neutral sin.
奴のポリシーは今回の目的には全く沿わないし、甘いよな。なんか動物にも感情移入しそうだし。
Although surely once he sees those intelligent monsters consuming humans, he'd feel slightly more inclined to exterminate them? I mean, he's a hunter. He's not a f***ing moron.
おそらくそれならナックルも全力で対応せざるを得なくなる。
How do you know he's not using his full strength though? We haven't seen you monitor the fight and or speak to Knuckle after the fight, so at this stage it looks like assumptions. However, if we see either or both of the scenarios occur, Arla has always removed the sin later on. Go get your skanky ass hair out of the food!
どうかしら。
すごく美味しいよ。
違うわよ。あと10日でしょ。
Then you should be specific about what you're talking about because you're asking that question whilst they're eating your damn hair-ridden food.
で、親指をくっつけて。
I don't like where this is going.
近いのチュー。戦う前にもう一人の居場所を聞きたいんだけど。
ああ、
シュートのことか。
No, your other partner you haven't mentioned having.
任せろ。
What the hell is he eating all that time down there? Also, once again, like the dude in the tree on Greed Island, where's he making his peeps and poops? Well, I just finished episode 89, and I literally didn't find a single sin. This rarely happens, but does tend to happen more often when there are episodes which concentrate on one battle, and also lots of descriptions about why people are doing what they're doing in said battle. Overall, a great episode in its entirety, so I'm more than happy to remove a sin here.
体内に蓄積されていて、その MOP を訓練で増やせるため個人差がある。
For the record, I'm of the firm opinion that this explanation is going on way too long, and I just want to see someone punch someone else and shit and not work out maths and stuff.
さっきから2、3分しか経ってないのに。
正確には120秒。
No, it hasn't, and I don't say that from the sheer exhaustion caused to me from this long-ass explanation, but because it's literally been double that amount of time. Chimera Antgasm. In fairness, dude, Mr. Penguin-san never heard the order since he ran into the room after he said it. Okay, so I was just about to make a comment about how he's able to fly instantly, and then they did this. So the fact that they thought ahead and made him fail is definitely worthy of a sin removal, I think.
O kuchi ni aimasen ka?
No, he does, he just spat it out and said it was disgusting for the luggage! These people all reacting like, meh, whatever, to something crashing into the ground right nearby them. Nice of them all to patiently await their turn to reveal themselves in a somewhat dramatic fashion. Well, he was an asshole right from birth, so I guess you could easily count that as a defect. Not to mention his bell ends looking head and the fact that he looks a lot in terms of size and shape like that numpty Freezer from Dragon Ball Z.
実際には師団長を殺して食った後、新天地を求めて旅立った。
Surely she's not deaf though and can hear this Star Wars looking freak talk about the reality of her situation.
師匠譲りだぜ。俺が甘いのはよ。
Dude, she ate like 1,000 humans and kids and shit. Pull yourself together.
お前ら豚や牛の命乞いに耳を貸したことがあるか?
Did you just make an assumption about their diet? You racist? So it took her a fucking day or two to make all of these dolls? This bitch be crazy!
一つ、私の言うことを何でも聞いてもらうわよ。
Stop!
わかった。
付き合って。
Stop! Stop!
もしかしてお前さ、デートとかしたことあんの？
あるよ。
This made me laugh way harder than it probably should have.
クジラ島には女だけの漁船もたまに来るんだけど、中には年下じゃなきゃダメって人がいて、そういう人のことマニアって言うんだって。
No gone, women like that were and are called pedophiles, bruh.
やだ、やめて、大きな声で。恥ずかしいからもう。
Girl, what should be embarrassing you is the literal date you're about to have with a fucking child. Well, I think this clearly deserves a bloody sin removal. I will say that I was incredibly nervous that something was going to happen to Killua, so I'm just really happy that it turned out this way. He came from a country with absolutely no forms of technology or sport and yet knows a baseball reference.
キルアはともかく
ゴンの方はどうでしょうか。あの時の動きと気迫、確かに目を見張りましたが。
This dude is talking about something which for us happened like 5 minutes ago or less, but to these guys on the train it's been 29 days, and thus him simply saying, at the very end I was impressed by the way he moved, is likely very confusing to those listening.
願望や病人まで含めて限りなく 100% に近い国民を徴収するのは異例中の異例ですね。
I find it odd that this version of NEM, which allows for things to be seen that aren't normally visible, works via taped recordings of the person as well.
今後拡大する可能性が高く、有効な対処法も全く見つかっていないのが現状です。
My literal exact words when this happened. Yes. Yes, 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 yes! With quite the sense of joyful glee. I was just quietly hoping and praying that I would get to see these guys get involved with the conflict, and now it's finally happening and I can barely contain my bloody excitement. This video has seen a lot of sins removed, but for this shock's change it's worth another one.
彼らを元通りにする術があるか否か、今議会はその点を死の境にする意見が大勢となっている。
In a city full of garbage and fumes and surrounded by a deserted, barren and empty wasteland, these guys managed to find a whole bunch of nice and fresh flowers for the dead.
それじゃあ私はこっち。
じゃあ私こっちね。
みんなバラバラ？
No!
糸から伝わる歩き方からも、今度の連中がただものでないことがわかりますだ。
If you're hoping to create any amount of wind from that thing, you're gonna have to work a little harder at moving it up and down, you lazy monster bitch.
コインで決めるか。
CGI. Yeah, I know I stopped using that joke for a while, but it's nice to bring back every now and then.
まで女王様のため働く。大して今までの人生と変わらないだろう。
Complete and utter assumptions. My god, what an absolutely outstanding fucking episode that turned out to be. I know I've taken quite a few sins away so far for these episodes, but you guys were absolutely right when you said about this arc being great. This episode especially though has been amazing, getting to see some of the members of the Phantom Troop battle which we've never seen before. I loved it, truth be told.
粘着性の糸って出せるんですよね。それを全身に巻けば出血は止められたのでは？
He's dead.
わあ、もうみんな来てるの？
Nope.
思ったより硬いね。
おのれ！よくも私の顔に傷を！
Technically the bullet touched it, but you do you, dude.
ライジングサン。
Holy fucking sweet and sour Chinese chicken balls!
でも他の国では半分以上の人間が10歳までに餓死するとかテレビで大嘘のニュース流すし、各国からの経済援助は弱者に渡らず全部車と宝石、ミサイルに変わる仕組み。東ゴル島への経済支援市場最大額を引き出すための交渉の兄貴の受け売り。兄貴は多分じいちゃんの受け売り。
じいちゃん？
No.
村だ。
Are you sure it's not a series of bouncy castles?
もぬけの殻だ。もうみんな首都のペイジに向かったのかな？
Detective Gon is not as sharp as he normally is in previous episodes and fails to see the rather obvious streaks of blood on the floor.
それを隠している。
え？
かなり雑なやり方でね。
Yeah, but dude, surely the long-ass streaks of blood on the floor are more of a giveaway than a hidden bullet hole behind a chair.
さあ、捕まえたぞ。このまま締め潰してやるぜ。
Giving away your plan before you do it, cliché.
蛇の遺伝子を継いでるみたいだから、最悪10日くらい絶食しても死にはしないと思うけど。
But why do you care? They're eating humans, dude.
そっちが西なのも計算済み。NGL まで飛んでけ。
Gon, bro, I love you, but you gotta start to kill these bloody things. I find it highly ironic that he only loses his temper and talks about killing them when they're mean to one another and not when they're mass murdering humans. What, they're attempting to make mankind extinct in an absolutely horrific fashion? Ah! Oh well. Oh, he called his mate a dickhead? Right, that's it. I'm gonna wipe the entire species from the planet!
戦車だろうが戦闘機だろうが全部止めてやるよ。
Oh my god, I've finally come across this song. I actually heard this song about a year prior to even watching this anime as it popped up in my autoplay feed on YouTube, and for a long time I was obsessed with it. Now I finally know it's actually from this anime. Well, go ahead and take a sit-off for this. It's seriously an awesome song. One would assume that the smartest thing to do here would be to simply hide behind a tree away from the direction you actually know you're being attacked from over and over again. Killua clearly struggles with the concept of the passing of time, since 18 seconds passed during the time he had counted from 10 seconds to 6 seconds. Killua fails to fill this little dude not only on his back but also attach this badge to his clothing. I'm sure I wouldn't notice, but then I'm not a trained hunter. Although I am a trained assassin. Why didn't you just try running away though? Surely anything is better than standing there and getting attacked over and over again. Also, if you're referring to your game, no, it's not going well as you're hitting just about everything outside of the bullseye.
まあもちろんダーツの矢がどこに来るかわからなきゃいくらなんでも無理さ。
Okay, so I'm coming at you now with a neutral sim, because first of all, these two should really be dead. It's been the case for literally all of them prior to now that taking off the head will eliminate them. However, the positive point comes when I hear this music and see what just happened. It's very clever and the music is outstanding and one of my personal favourites because of how awesome Killua's family are.
てめえ、ダーツ歴は
6歳で極めた。カウントで1440ポイント。修行の処方だね。
Dance assassination training.
けどよ、こんな俺のこと、こんなタコな俺のこと、かっこいいって言ってくれたやつを。
Oh, so it's alright for you to refer to yourself as an octopus, but whenever someone else does it, you throw off the handle?
全然逃げない。
So to be clear, this bird was totally chill with being poked with a finger and not wondering what the hell was going on. Damn, I've seen birds freaked out by a sudden gust of wind!
駒を3枚まで重ねることができ、開始時の駒配置も自軍陣地内ならば自由です。立体的な視点が必要となり、他の遊戯とはやや趣が異なるかもしれません。15年ほど前から世界
呼べ。
This girl, whom I assume is blind, wasn't called into the room and yet she knew when it was the exact right time to enter.
現世界王者が3代目で大会5連覇中。
Being blind is no excuse for having a runny as hell nose. I mean, you can feel that shit.
全然連絡取れねえ？
うん、電源入れてないみたい。
No, he can half contact him whilst his phone is off.
もともとキルアの方から連絡する約束だから当然かもしれないんだけど。
あっちからの連絡を待つしかねえのかよ。
No.
そんな中で救いを求めてくるやつくらい助けて何が悪い。
Oh my god, this guy is basically f***ing me. And how can I possibly not remove a sin for me?
勝負には勝ちましたが、それ以降この子は公式戦や書物からは姿を消しました。
I like this girl so far, but my god, I wish someone would give her a bloody tissue to wipe her nose, as even though it's animated, it still looks really gross and is quite a distraction for me.
この手応え、まさか煙、まさか。
Okay, now this was absolutely fucking brilliant. I loved how they put this together where you weren't too sure exactly which way it was going to go. As often happens in these fights, the enemies gain the upper hand and then vice versa, so to see this happen was just amazing, to be honest, as I like this dude a lot. Oh wow, 2 minutes and 55 seconds of recap and intro is definitely not something I'm used to seeing in this anime whatsoever. In fact, usually the recap lasts about 10 or 15 seconds at most, and then that's it. How dare this anime into my precious Hunter x Hunter watch time?
おお、ああ、なんということを。腕を治療します。
Oh man, oh Jesus, I don't even know what to bloody say. Man, I've been taking away bucket loads of sins from the last 2 parts of this series, and I don't feel like I can actually genuinely ignore what just happened. It was so unexpected, and I have no clue where his character progression is going. It's just beyond exciting is a good way of putting it, I guess. Okay, so yeah, taking a sin off for him taking his arm off. Wow.
それが今。
Jesus, you'd think they'd have at least had a good look around before deciding the city is now safe and free of enemies to ensure they're not being watched.
代わりがいないとの理由から、人間で唯一、王の側近として許された人物である。
Aside from the young girl who is literally about 2 feet away from him pretty much all day long.
Oh.
Rapey lip lick cliche. Very large humanoid-shaped fruit that are moving slightly and apparently have a heartbeat? Okay guys, I just want to put this out there that this is absolutely and utterly unbearable for me to watch right now. I've just got an incredible amount of butterflies in my stomach because I'm so fucking nervous for this guy as he keeps on having to get closer and closer. My entire being is screaming for him to retreat back as I have such a horrible feeling that something is about to go wrong. I have to give mad props for the animators giving me these feelings. Dude, what are you waiting for? Make the bloody portal!
ヒルはお前たちも奴らのオーラを見てんだよな。
Jesus, this entire scene is so incredibly well done. His voice acting is superb and it just fills me with a sense of utter dread that they may not be able to overcome these incredible odds. This anime has slowly, over time, catapulted towards being one of my favourite ever anime, and this arc is shooting it even higher. I imagine you may be tired of hearing me go on about how much I'm enjoying it, but believe me when I say I'm still genuinely being fair and only removing sins when I really think it deserves it, and this deserves it, I think.
敵が能力を出す前に叩けってのは正論さ。だが、そんなもんじゃねえだろ。男の戦ってのはよ。
True, but he's far from a man, so feel free to kick his ass before he can pull out some weird shit and end up killing you first, dude.
ほう、煙で船を。上にも乗れんのか、その煙。
No, clearly he can't. Oh wait, yes he can, and you can see that, so why are you even asking, you stupid lion boy?
音速並みのスピードで放たれる俺様の森は空中からでも深海を泳ぐクジラをも貫く。
How do you know that though? Because all we've seen so far is you leave NGL and travel on foot to this country next door to it, which is landlocked, so when have you come across a whale to harpoon? Or are you just talking shit?
肺活量だけはこの世の誰にも負けねえ自信があるんでな。息をジェット噴射のように吐き出し
Revealing one of your strengths to the enemy during the middle of a battle for your life like a royal numpty.
ちょっと借りてるだけか。そりゃ盗っ人の言う定番の言い訳だな。
I love this dude a lot, but I really don't think many thieves would openly use the excuse of simply borrowing the item they stole. No.
おそらくリタイアだ。だが出口はちゃんと設置できたそうだ。計画には支障も変更もない。
Other than the fact that one of your strongest comrades has now bailed out, of course. Poofgasm.
おい。名は何と申す。
渡すのですか？
他に誰がいる？
The king would be good at anime sins. But she's also blind, so she really wouldn't know if he was talking to anyone else.
小麦の全身が光に包まれていた。
小麦？
開かずの女だ。
あのようなものの名前を。
In fairness, dude, it's probably a little difficult to forget the name of the person who told you it literally within the last 30 minutes or so.
危うく王を侮辱するところでした。
お前はいつも深読みしすぎなんだよ。
His puddle of super cry tears disappeared.
なぜ助けを呼ばぬ。ここもこっちもなんと脆い生き物なのだ。
Okay, I'm going to be straight up honest with you all. This scene really made me tear up badly. His reaction to her injuries after he had originally come with the intention to end her was just really heartfelt. My god, this entire scene was just put together so damn beautifully, it's insane. Take a well-deserved sin removal.
奴らがいなかった場合、
キルアはそれにこだわってるけど。
He's probably hung up on it because without them being there when they arrive, the entire plan basically goes out of the window and leaves them somewhat helpless. It's not like it's not a big deal.
どのくらいの確率だよ。そんな場合って。
まあ、めったないことだと思うよ。
How do you know the chances wouldn't be very high though? I mean, you've got one person reporting that the dark aura could be found in the stairwell, but that could have belonged to any of the 3 royal guards. In fact, they actually don't have a clue where the king and his royal guards are going to be situated.
つまり修復の能力を使う場合、その間は円や人形は使えない。
Yeah, no need to say goodbye or anything to let him know the conversation's over. You just go ahead and hang up the phone, rude boy!
確かに突然の好機に喜んで深くは考えなかったが。
It's cool that during this extremely high risk, everyone on constant guard type situation, that this dude found the time to go and grab himself a replacement red tie after his last one was cut in half during his battle in episode 107. Someone's got their priorities straight.
コルトはいいやつだ。メレオロンもイカルゴもいいハートを持ってる。
Colt is a good dude now, but he did participate in the near extinction of humans in the entirety of NGL. These guys are so quick to bloody forget about all of the human mass eating and stuff.
確かに。将軍の横で私も何度も見ているが、あれは成功とは全く別の絵も言えぬ快感。
Lies.
違うんだ。王の自傷行為、第三者の存在。
Killua keeps talking about the third party, and that's a theory literally based upon zero evidence. They have at this point in time no clue that there's anyone else inside the palace with them.
時間だ。突入1分前。集まってくれ。
My brain trembles!
王の自傷行為、第三者の存在。この過程から紡がれる正解がまだ出ていない。
I think the main issue here is that you're never going to be able to know what happened until you actually know what happened. You could guess 1,000 times and still end up being wrong, but you'll never know if you're correct until it's proven one way or another, bro.
Go!
Okay, so to be clear, I almost lost it just now after seeing Killua's grandfather. My exact words were, oh my god, what an amazing turn of events. I literally cannot wait to see what happens next, but y'all best be used to getting sins removed for this part 12, just like the previous 3 parts in a row. In fact, judging from what I know is coming, it wouldn't surprise me in the least if this part has the least sins so far. I wish they'd explained to us as to why they now trusted the flying ant monster thing to accompany them rather than just killing it or leaving it inside the room locked up. I was actually quite shocked when it was just stood with the rest of them because it hadn't been mentioned once since getting taken hostage.
怪物が誕生した。
いいよ。飯をおごってくれたらまあ。
Jesus, he sounded like an old dude when he was just 50 years old. Don't get me wrong, I love the voice actor's work for the character, but it just sounds a little too croaky for someone that young in appearance. Discount go-to from Parasite the Maxim. Jesus, what do you even say about an episode as bloody perfect as episode 112? From start to finish, it had me completely and utterly entranced and basically captivated as to what was going to happen next. Filled to the very brim with tenseness. That's probably one of the best ways to describe how I felt. Like at any moment, everything was about to go wrong and anyone would end up dead. This anime now has me in an odd position, because it's had us spend so much time with essentially every character on screen, and so if someone dies it's going to affect us, albeit to varying degrees depending on whom it is. What an absolutely fantastic episode.
加えて右目を塞いだのにも明確な理由があったわけではない。
He did, however, at the same time as doing this random thing, blind himself on his right side and get rid of depth perception. Though in hindsight, no pun intended, perhaps it wasn't the greatest idea in the world?
逆境を糧にシュートは飛んだのだ。
Although he was already technically in flight.
両陣営が舞い上げた大量の粉塵は
Running on the spot.
機体を我が身のように操作できる能力リビングデッドドールズによって複眼の使用が可能となったイカルゴは
Ah, now it makes sense. I'll remove the sin from before. Surprised this never occurred to me, actually.
2匹を倒したらしき賊が廊下を引き返すのとその後フラッタが姿を現すまでの間は
He's absolutely correct, but in fairness he could have been simply flying above and observing Killua before then landing. I mean, the damage to his wings and how it would affect him are entirely unknown to this guy.
しばしお待ちを
You should probably attack him, dude.
マジかよまだ10秒ちょっとだぞでももしかして助かった
Well, no, you guys have been there way longer than 10 seconds and that poor guy's been holding his breath since you turned up. In fact, I'm not really sure at all why he said it's only been 10 seconds, because even his little Nen counter guy's added interest 3 times, which means it's been 30 seconds since he punched him the first time, and probably 40 or 50 seconds since they arrived on scene.
攻撃されたいや、されてはいねえ。遅効性の技か。だとしたらあの時
You'd think that if he was going to assume it happened at any time, it would be when his eye was taken away from him, because as far as he's aware, he's only been fighting a single opponent since the start. Aside from the brief altercation with the smoke guy, of course, before he went off to battle Butterfly Boy.
ハギャ様何の疑問もなく口にしたその一言がベルフィンとブロブーダに疑念を持たせたとも知らず
I can fully understand how it could raise some suspicions for Welfin, since he already thought he was a traitor given that he knew he'd passed Killua in the corridor and came out alive. However, I don't see why Bravoda would be cautious given that it was said numerous times that people call the Lion Boss dude by his original name, sometimes just to annoy him.
わしの仕事はこれで終わりじゃ任務以外のことは何も知らん中のことはお主らが判断せ
Yeah, don't be a bro and help out your grandson who's about to walk blindly into a room with an opponent whom you know to be incredibly powerful.
俺の攻撃が効かね
え Yes
なんだこいつは逃げるな答えろ
One would assume this would be a most excellent time to explain some nonsense that helps waste time but doesn't actually explain what it is, just to further weaken the enemy.
敵にいやねこれ以上シュートに頑張れなんて
Oh man, this is so goddamn sad.
消臭剤を使うあたり確実に俺を警戒している裏切り者がいるのは間違いない
Or they could be using information gained from torturing your fellow ants. Assumptions are dangerous, bro. Ah! Almost 5 minutes of recap and OP and leaving me with less than 18 minutes of pure Hunter x Hunter goodness.
なぜ敵である俺たちを目の前にして臨戦態勢に入らないあれじゃ裸と同じまるっきりの無防備勝てると思っているのかオーラに頼らなくても
Are you just somehow not seeing the giant doctor thing coming out of her ass that's fixing up the girl? Killua is a smart lad, and it's shocking that his initial observations have failed to take that into account.
Go!
Honestly, I feel like Gon's voice actress here did a beyond superb job of carrying through some emotions that we just have never really seen from Gon in all of these 116 episodes before now. Well, I did say at the start that you guys and gals should expect a large degree of sin removal, so it shouldn't really come as a shock, but bloody hell, this was done so well it deserves a sin off, I think.
まあ見ても見んでも結果は一緒じゃ。
Oh my fucking god, it's Daddy Killua! I was genuinely hoping to see this dude.
シュートは生きていた。
Yeah, alright, Mr. Narrator-san, why don't you take 5 and go grab a cup of coffee? I mean, when we the viewer can visibly see Shoot moving, we tend to have an idea for ourselves that he's alive.
それで仮に任務を果たしてシュートと握手を交わす。やったなと肩を叩き、お互いを称える。立ち侮辱されたまま。
Yeah, but on the plus side, you'd both be alive and well in that instance. I'd rather take a little humiliation from what is in essence an ant if it meant living.
ありえねえ。
That was a bit of a dick move.
世界より大事なものがあるんです。
新たな誤算、大切なものの重さ。
Wow, how about no spoilers? If he now dies, then it's an extra sin for you giving that away to me already. If he lives, I'll remove this sin. Deal?
ブロブーだが、警備兵エリアに。
No.
シュート、ボス、みんな、あとは頼む。ノルカネ。
Okay guys, I swear I was literally just about to add on the additional sin there for his impending death, as I was quite frankly a little pissed that the narrator gave it away, but then Killua steps in and saves the day. So needless to say, this equals a sin removal as promised before.
ここでの心境の変化が信じがたい選択へとユピーを誘うがまだ後のことである。
Dude! I'm afraid I must insist upon you just shutting the hell up in general from here on out. This guy has been chatting about semi-obvious stuff for the past few episodes, filling in for us what people are thinking as opposed to the classic age-old internal monologue, and is seemingly giving things away now. So, as the ancient Romans used to say, shut the f*** up!
死体を操る能力を持つイカルゴだが、自らの手を汚した経験はまだなかった。
His own tentacles.
できない。俺は卑怯者だ。
Pretty ironic and harsh that he had no issue with filling Killua with holes when he was shooting at him quite a few episodes ago, and now suddenly he's having issues with pulling the damn trigger to help his friends. From the reflection in his glasses, you'd be correct in assuming that these ugly little troglodytes are right in front of his face when they're actually quite far away.
空爆が始まったのがいい証拠。おそらくアリが生物兵器という絶好の口実になったんだ。
I think it's more likely that they're calling the ants the potential destruction of all mankind as an excuse to use such a powerful weapon.
こいつもてめえ
No, he's a real fake smoke person.
夫婦が殺意を持って近づけばこの子は迷わず小麦の方へ突っ込んできた。
それがまるで彼女に危害を及ぼすかのような口ぶり。
She didn't almost make it sound like that. She outright said he would mean to do her harm if he was attacked.
ならなんでお前あの時あんな悲しそうな顔をしてたんだよ。
Telling his facial expression from the back of his head. It's not like he was even sulking and looking down at the ground or anything.
俺もうあいつを駆除する標的としては見れないっす。
I get what Knuckle is saying here, but he really is too damn soft. It's often forgotten about the millions of humans they're more than happy to kill and eat and everything that's happened prior to this moment. Yeah, he did one good thing by leaving all 3 of them alive, but that doesn't exactly cancel them out as being a huge enemy still.
ならもうないじゃないっすか。倒す理由なんて。
Other than the fact that he's racing towards the king to help fight the old man and then all hope of finally beating them would have been lost. But yeah, aside from that, absolutely no reason.
わしのことを何も知らんだろうが
Ew.
なるほど。南へ。よくわかりました。ファインプレーです、ピトー。
She made quite the assumption there that the dragon didn't happen to change direction in flight once during the last 10 minutes or so that the battle has been raging.
そして与えよう。平等とは言えぬまでも、理不尽な差のない世界を。
Dirty fucking communist bastard! Kill him, old man! Kill the commie! Oh my fucking god! The entire rest of this episode definitely deserves a second send-off. My god, what a finish. I love the chairman and I'm just so genuinely worried now about him dying that it's unreal. His attacks are also, I have to say, some of the best I've literally ever seen in any anime. It's just perfectly put together from the animation to the size of the attack and also the music as well.
倉庫エリアへの扉が開いてる。車庫側へ向かう通路の扉も。
Which you really shouldn't be too shocked about considering the doors he went through led literally just a few meters away from the room you're in, and you've got the door to the control room open, and he's driving a big noisy ass truck no less.
体内に生き物を植え付けられた。
No. Man, this anime really and truly knows how to create an amazing backstory. Even just the way they animate it is incredibly well done, and by the time you've added in the storyline and music, it creates quite a heartbreaking scenario in almost every case I've seen up till now.
そんな彼が初めて心を開いて告げた真実こそイカルゴが探し求めていた人の居場所だった。
You could argue it was actually the second time though, since the first time was really when he just told the lovely story about Gyro and how badly he wants to see his friend again, but this is semantics, and it really was a lovely scene, so take a neutral sin, you beautiful bastard animators, and to the king himself for writing such an amazing bloody story. Those ant bastards stuck a giant boob on her forehead! Yet again another sterling episode that they couldn't find any fault with or even anything silly to say about it, to be honest. I'm just amazed that the situation with Palm ended how it did, with her managing to come back from the brink with the help of Killua of all people. It's so easy to see now why all of you talk so much about this arc and how great it is, and I'm so happy to be experiencing it for myself right now. Reaction occurs long after an attack cliche. Holy sweet mother of Jesus and all his merry men, what the fuck kind of godliness am I even looking at right now? This scene is melting my brain and soul away with how goddamn epic it is, and I can hardly even put it into words!
そんなんじゃねえだろ。俺が求めた部の極みは。
At this point in time, I just wanted to say a quick rest in peace to the original voice actor of the chairman. I was actually confused just now due to the obvious vocal changes, and then looked it up and saw he sadly died back in 2014. So thank you for the amazing work you performed, and in his honour, I'll remove another sin. Rest in peace. Just pre-warning you all now again that this is likely the stage where these episodes could end up getting more sin removals than sins. The animators are treating the episodes deadly serious, and in all honesty there isn't a single thing to fault, nothing to poke fun at, nothing at all. I'm just in utter admiration right now. I just hope many of you recall when I said this Everything Wrong with series was always meant to be about 80% sins and laughs and likely 20% sin removals, since there's no wins version for it. Well, now the scales are being tipped, just like they were in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, where the fourth quarter was actually minus sins if I recall correctly. So yeah, just keep in mind I'm also doing this series at this stage to pay homage to a wonderful anime. Seriously, what can I say for this entire episode that wasn't already incredibly obvious when all of you watched it for yourselves for the first time? All I can really bring myself to say is that this right here may well be one of the greatest episodes in anime history for me. It had everything that for me personally kind of puts it on a god tier level of greatness that few anime in my personal opinion ever meet. The last time I saw a battle that had me in awe like this was in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood and the final battle against Father in his godlike state. For this perfect episode and for the Battle of the Ages and for the chairman who'll be so missed by me, I'll be taking away a record 5 cents for this anime. Okay, so it's now gone 3 AM and I've waited up for this long to watch the end to this episode. In short, this was another case where there really was nothing to talk about, so I figured I'd wait until the end to give my piece. Just an all-around amazing episode, and it was packed tight with storyline and character progression, and then my god, the ending just blew me away. Mainly because the realization set in that the king had actually died when I really thought they were just going to bring him back. Now I honestly cannot wait to see what's going to come next, but sadly I do have to sleep first. At this point in time, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's watched all of these videos and given them likes and comments and such. It really does mean the world to me.
I don't like where this is going. Stop! Stop!
This scene goes on for quite some time. You know, I think I've just thought of a pretty big plot hole here that I'm hoping you guys can maybe fill for me. But couldn't they have simply had Nov plant a nuke inside of the palace when he infiltrated, prior to Palm ever turning up and blow the entire palace to pieces? Keep in mind that at this stage, when he went to place down all of the Nen rings, no civilians had turned up for the selection, and the palace is very far away from anything else. Seems to me that they may have been able to do something similar with the original Ant Fortress in NGL as well, but if you can think of a reason why not, I'd love to hear it. Anime Go Run cliche.
こっちが本命か。鬼ごっこなら付き合うぜ。一晩中でもな。
Why is this so hard? That's what she said.
それよりもご覧ください、メルエム様。見渡す限りの人。
Well, it's not really as far as you can see. In fact, as the view pans upwards, you can stop seeing them. Stop trying to big up your own numbers, bruh.
ダメだな。バラバラすぎてリビングデッドドールズは使えない。
Who are you telling?
水晶には今同時にゴンとピとキルアと私。
Also known as you and me, since he's walking next to you and all.
彼の魂はもうここにはない。もう元には戻せないんだ。
This shit is bloody heartbreaking. Yup, they can go ahead and take a sin removal for the first half of this episode. Gon's transformation into big old teenage scary Gon was absolutely amazing, to be honest. Then to hear that in that form he possesses the same strength as the king is just unreal. Jesus Christ, this arc just keeps on getting better and better, literally all of the time. It's kind of hard to even believe how much enjoyment it's given me.
やった。この時間を使い、完璧に娘を抹殺する。
Although you really should have specified exactly how much extra time you wanted, as the king could be a royal knob and allow you like 30 seconds.
夫婦が散布を終え、ここに戻ってきたら余が指導する。
Dude, it's when you finish.
メルエムに対し時間稼ぎのために勝負を挑んだプフはまだ催眠状態にない人民たちに 鱗粉を散布していた。
And not a single one of them bothered to look up and see a giant skinny butterfly man was sprinkling his fairy dust onto their heads.
どうも上官が次々に倒れたらしい。糸が切れた人形みたいに。
Really? Like puppets whose strings have been cut? How the hell would it look like that if you're a normal civilian who has no idea about Nen and all that? Yeah, those signs are sure to get a whole bunch of attention from people.
人類の存亡を背負っての戦いならばもう終わった。耳を疑っているようだな。
I didn't think it's so much that she doubted what she heard and more freaked out by him saying there's no point in fighting for the survival of mankind anymore. I have a very good idea that he's referring to no longer wanting the destruction of mankind, but he put it in possibly the worst possible way that allowed for misinterpretation and a very warranted freakout.
やめて。そうよ。私は彼女の居場所を知ってる。拷問でも何でも自由にしたら。
Girl, with all due respect, what the hell is wrong with you? This was a truly beautiful end to the storyline of the king and the blind girl. It had me in tears, it had me smiling, it had wonderfully soul-touching music backing it up, and I just can't say enough good things about it.
小麦いるか。それまでそばにいてくれるか。最後に。
はい。
名前を呼んでくれないか。
おやすみなさい。メルエム、私もすぐ行きますから。
So originally I was just going to leave it with my prior comments, but then the final scene happened and I just had to say a couple more things. Firstly, it's that this scene touched my heart. Truly it did. I'd be a massive liar if I said I didn't have tears streaming down my face after their final ending. It was quite literally the perfect way to end it, I believe, and it was so truly sad. Because only one other anime has ever had me tear up like that before now, I'll be matching the action-packed episode 126's 5 sin removals and doing the same here for the amount of emotion packed into that ending. Never thought I'd say it, but rest in peace, both of you.
教本通りに友好的で話のわかる人助けてくれ。あんた言葉がわかるんだね。
No. Seeing in a dream what actually happened to someone else in their own reality. Oh, god damn it.
副会長様はこんな時でもお忙しいのよ。
こんな時だからでしょ。
Windows.
というわけで、ビーンズさん、この中に12枚の紙が入っています。1枚引いてください。
私が
No. I'm actually going to go ahead and remove another sin here. I know I've removed a ton already, but I'm just blown away by how many people from the previous 136 episodes I'm getting to see here again. It's quite the trip down memory lane, and I've been having legit fun pausing it and identifying who most of the people are.
座ってろ。
He said sit, not lay down, you dumb dog!
何人死んだのか忘れたか。
俺たちの方が殺してんだろうが。
キルは冷静になれないのならここで終了だ。
Relax, dude. He's just trying to make sure you don't get killed by making a mistake. God damn, man, chill! Wow, I guess I need to chill as well.
ああ、大丈夫。俺に任せて。
I don't quite understand the point in having the black "this is a memory box" when you've got Killua physically running over the box and taking up the whole screen.
検証に利用した。うちは執事が恋愛してる時点で死刑だし。
Well, it's no wonder people want to work for your family then.
無理だわ。こんな、これを外すなんて。
Not to mention the fact that you really shouldn't be going in there with all your dirty old smelly clothes spreading infections and shit too.
ゾルディック家が特別なのはてめえも知ってるだろ。この条件はこっちが頼んでるんだ。
To be fair though, dude, you're not one of the family. You're a butler and a cool-ass one at that, but it doesn't exactly make you blurred.
なぜこんなところへ行ってやらねえ。あいつが今どんな状態か知ってるだろう。まずお前、ゴンのなんだ。ダチだ。これからもよろしく頼む。以上だ。
I've said it before and I'll say it again, and those of you who've seen most or all of these videos will know what's about to come. So, Jin's a real dick. Holy fucking barbecue sauce and chips, that was awesome. I don't know what the power level of that old woman is, but you have got to wonder about how she would be able to take down Killua when he was able to fight on par with one of the royal guards of the Ant King. Just also keep in mind that before the chairman went into further training before facing the king, he was told by Colt that at his current power level he would be taken out by a royal guard, not to mention the king himself. To sum up, Killua is strong as fuck now. Ruining your depth perception whilst running through a forest full of trees and stuff. Revealing part of your plan of attack to the enemy that's literally trying to murder you, cliche. Also, Hisoka has just stated that he plans on killing him, so why not take the opportunity to take him out whilst he's all tied up and end up saving your life in the process? No. Stop!
これさして命令すると死ぬまで頑張ってくれるんだよ。
Don't make it harder than it has to be.
イルミを捕まえれば、そいつらの考えに同調する連中が結構出るんじゃないの？
キルア、いいのか？兄貴を売るんだぞ。
He's more shocked by the notion that Killua intends to have his brother arrested than the fact that his brother is using and damaging civilians beyond repair for his own interests.
私に遠慮や気遣いは無用です。むしろ雇用人数に制限がないのなら積極的に声をかけて。
One would assume the limit is 661 since that's how many hunters you have.
バカな！イルミは他に何十人か強力な兵隊を雇ってるに違いない。一人ですけど。
Did you hear the statement?
まずさっきも言ったように、俺は会長をやる気はない。
いいえ、先ほどはやりたくないわけじゃないとおっしゃってました。
Actually, he did say he didn't want to become chairman, but just for now. Not in the future, as for now he has to train the hunters under him. Okay, so here I'm going to remove a sin, and half of it is because of Gon's previous state. They did an amazing job of having him appear truly messed up and beyond any help. The other half is for him coming back like this. That's just so awesome to see, to be honest. In terms of the rest of the episode, and even a few of the previous ones, they've been very difficult to sin. The reason is because they kept the story largely focused on the election and Killua making his way to Gon, and other than that, not a lot has happened to comment on. Take a good old sin removal for us finally getting to see Gon and Jin together at long last. Transphobic.
お前の話じゃ生きてんのか死んでんのかよくわからんが、どっちにしろ行け。
Well, if he's turned into a little girl, the likelihood is that he's not dead, isn't it?
命令ならばお願いとは無関係に働きと考えられるのだが。 いかがだろうか?
He says this out loud, but the entire rest of his speech beforehand was all internal monologue, and thus he's likely greatly confused everyone there.
瞬間移動だ。マジで?
No.
偏僻で何もなくってことは、あの子は多分
Picture frame with nothing in it cliché.
肉体だって心の踏ん切りがつかなきゃ動きは鈍いだろ。俺の場合、前も今もずっとこのままでいいはずがないって考えてる。これが良くないんだと思う。救えない話さ。
Who moved the cup of tea from the middle of the table? Man, it's so surreal to know that I've been along with them on this journey for 147 episodes. It's just insane to me. They can go ahead and take a send off for this lovely ending, showing some of their best moments together.
これ、カイトに頼まれてたんだ。ジェンに返しておいてくれって。
ああ、そうか。
Oh yeah, you're welcome, you dick! Well, there you have it, guys. All 148 episodes complete, and my god, what an absolutely thrilling ride it was. I want to close out this video by saying a few things. Firstly, in case you don't follow me on my anime list, I gave this anime a perfect 10 out of 10, and now it's in my top 10 favourites. Secondly, before you ask, yes, as and when they begin to make the anime again, I will most definitely continue the series on. I suppose it's not a definite yet, but let's hope it does, since the manga is now getting new chapters. Lastly, I wanted to thank each and every one of you who has watched the whole series, and I very much hope you enjoyed my take on it all. I couldn't have done this without your help and without the help of the patrons, and I hope you found either some joy from my sense of humour or from reliving this amazing anime alongside me. Don't forget you can follow me on Twitter at TheHonestGamer, and from here on out I'll either be restarting everything wrong with Dragon Ball Super or moving on to another long series given the copyright issues the company is giving me who make Dragon Ball Super, but either way, stay tuned for more. Thank you again, and I hope you enjoy the outro clips in 5 seconds time.
財宝秘宝
じゃじゃー
No, God! No, God, please, no!
Go on!
Uneven boobs.
そこで私のオーラを君たちの体内に一気に送ることで証拠をこじ開けます。
なんかよ。
いいや、別に。
And I will always be there, old friend.
I don't get it. What are you laughing about? I don't know what it's about.
ご覧ください、この大観衆。
Boobs.
ゴン君、キルア君、今日からズシと共に修行をすることになります。
All right, I see. Pedophile.
Who's a paedophile?
No, no. His name is Peter File.
His name is paedophile.
ウィングさん、実はね。
It's me, Mario!
いたな。お前が潜入者だ。
調子はどうだい？
まあまあだ。
まあまあね。偉くなったもんだぜ。
ああ、癖になってんだ。音殺して動くの。あの女がいたぜ。仲間と一緒だ。6人で行動している。
対処法は薬で熱を抑えるしかありません。しかし薬の効き目は1週間。
知った髪の毛を食うことで。
力を渡した時に言ったことを覚えているかい？
食え。
FBI should be knocking this door any minute now.
Police department, third floor! Police department, third floor!
あっち！おお！あれはまさに
合体！
どうやったかは言えない。でも確かに僕の能力で見つけた。
そう。君もうまそうだ。
Stop!
頼むよ、二人とも。そして何より元の姿が嫌だから。
ジャジャー
I don't get it! What are you laughing about? I don't know what it's about.
It's me, Mario!
のはさあ、ビッカネービッカネー私とは生まれ持った才能が、才能ってうるさいのなんてねや。シャッアップ
人間は生け捕りにするんだとあれほど言った。
ねえ、何か匂うよ。
ジャジャー。奴らを追えば女王にたどり着ける。
私パームってものです。よろしく。
どうするナックル。
Do you know the way of the devil? Do you know the way of the devil?
シュートマクマホン。
すでに王は生まれた。まさか早すぎる。
さようか。
What the fuck? I'm the two-time, back-to-back. Oh my god! さあ、ビッカネー
俺の里親だったってことをな。
全然逃げない。
Dude, get the fuck off me! Meh, do what you want.
Speed
walking! I pity you, fool! You're a disgrace to the man race!
で、わしは本命と戦う前の肩慣らしってことか。ピンポーン。これはいくら見逃してくれと言っても無理かな。ピンポンピンポン。
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Nobody!
I don't get it! What are you laughing about? I don't know what it's about.
仲間？
前のな。
Now all of you, die!
イルミ様。
キルア様が私たちを巻いて最もやりたいことは
仲間との連絡。
ピンポン。
もっと早く言ってくれればよかったのに。
悪い。
Nathan Burr, Bird Without a Word, Arias Alibari, Aidan White, PK Fan, Ali 50, Ryan Anderson, Isael Caldera, Chris Harris, Jonas Stahl, Manolo Saucedo Munoz, Luis Hernandez, Joe W, Yuki Ali, Manuel Morales, Dark Lord Bloody Soul, Sentimento, Jeffa6263, Silva, Master Tank, Boogie, Aurora, Kevin Nelta, Stefio, Brendan Kriya, Storm 970, Spirit Spinner, Mr. Waffle 64, Theodore Quackins, Kaj Vorzelman, Jordan Samuels, Humye, Crimson Shadows, Fourier, Kyle Farmer, Buzzbomb 3000, Mr. Beragino, Console Peasant 12, Adora Blue, Yagai 7636.